We're good. I think we're good. So, just rolling in. Stand by, stand by. Survive. Doors opening, doors closing. Yeah, I picked a great time for this one. Hello, everybody. It's bullzie. I'm sure we ready. I should have yeah. I'm gonna fucking put some things in. Uh, oh, remember this? Remember this little thing I had before? Yeah. I still like it. The reminiscing. This is the stuff we do. Or like, yeah, we're doing that. What else are we doing? Come on. All right, so we're gonna wait till stand by. I'll, I am already ready as we begin because right recently I was talking about Facts Channel and all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? There's plenty of things I could just go into detail about all of this stuff. Yeah. So where do we begin? I think there's plenty to begin. So all things considered, I'm gonna open the chat just so I know I I can manage it. So yeah, as I said before, recently I was talking about Facts Channel, and I was talking quite a bit of him, and there's like several things to go in depth about all this stuff. Facts Channel thing, I told some stories about this guy, real fun stories about this guy, and as far as those go, yeah, I'm pretty sure people still aren't fully aware of this guy because he was sniffing around. He was really sniffing around at that point. Fortunately, or unfortunately, rather, he passed away. Yeah, it was a while back. And all things considered, when you look back into those moments, yeah, he was funny, but in all the wrong ways. To put it that way, he he didn't do much of anything, I guess, but at the same time was doing a lot. If that makes sense, because there's moments where like he was just like and not there. He calls in, says does nothing, then leaves. Not sure what the deal was, but then he's in DMs harassing people. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Fact Channel. That's what he would do. And I think I got some videos saved from of him. So hold on. So
If
there's
I
one.
touch a burning candle, I can.
Never mind. That's the wrong one. There's like one video of him. Okay, there it is. Okay.
Hey, bullzie, you bitch. Why don't you quit fighting me so the Vikings fans battles for him? Why don't you fight your own battles with Tony? Cause you're scared of Tony. And keep my name out of your motherfucking mouth, bitch. That was a quick show.
I think he was about to say that was a quick stream. Like, so this was a while back. I kid you not. This was a while back. And it was not even the first video he did. And by the way, speaking of the video I just played you, I don't know if what he was doing, was he like trying to go for a Scottish accent or a Southern accent? Like, what was he trying to do? Was his speech impediment just so bad that day he just started speaking that way? I don't know. But there we go. There we have it. That's Facts Channel for you. Oh boy, oh boy. There's things. Oh, Yep. That's Facts Channel. He rose in from the dead. He wanted a he wants revenge. I had to play it quick and stop it because YouTube has a weird habit of flagging channels over copyrights. There we go. Yeah, there's like a lot of there's like missing content that I have this guy that is just gone. Thankfully, I had the interview that I re-uploaded. So yeah, I think that was it. Hello, Dave. How you doing? Welcome to the chat. So anyway, I hope you like the thumbnail because he's your least favorite person, the biggest horror of the on the internet. I'm just pointing that out. I hope you love it because this was also a while back as well, where I remember this. We'll talk about it later, but he made a few comments about YR and credit fraud. Remember, I maybe, but still, let's focus on Facts Channel for now. For now, so I'm going to retell some stories. So what do I want? Oh, I remember this one. Good memories. Good memories. Uh. What do I want? I should Now, this is me from ages ago. Always great to reminisce. Yes, I agree, Dave. Yeah, and I think this is a good opportunity to talk about. I'll just put my wrestling moments up there. There we go. So keeping these things up there, let's talk. Let's continue with Vax Channel. I'm gonna retell some of the stories as I've already told with Vax Channel. We'll just start with there. So Vax Channel, he was harassing people in the DMs, right? Going to its Callan. It started. I'm pretty sure it started with its Callan and Bullfrog, if I remember correctly. But it's Callan, as I know. Bullfrog has Bullfrog always gets trolled, so it's a no-brainer. But who knows? We're going there now. So Back's channel was in DMs, and mine included. He was in my DMs. I don't know who else is, but Vikings fan had run-ins with this guy. Was on a stream with him with Carlos Cabral and Vax channel himself. So there's that. Don't know if he was in his DMs, but my guess he probably was. And there we go. So there's that. Dave Rose can probably confirm that, especially with the calls he's been getting 3 years ago. This is 3 years ago, man. All of this, and this was like also prior to Seaman and Travis. And yes, we'll get to those two as well. This is nice. This will be fun to reminisce. But like I said, with Facts Channel, he was in DMs harassing people. He even he oh dude, this is one of my favorite things. I'm just gonna point this out where he in one of the fake accounts of Skype was going in a different name. I don't know, remember who, but like Steve Tony or some shit. Like I don't know, but he was some popular idol. Where he tells me, if I was Facts Channel, would you tell other people that I was Facts Channel? I'm not Facts Channel, by the way. I had to share this with others because he basically inadvertently admitted that he was Facts Channel while telling me he wasn't Facts Channel. Yes, this is the person I'm talking about. Is he did this, thinking that I just didn't think he was Facts Channel. I already knew he was Facts Channel. He was messaging me, and he was threatening me as well in DMs, claiming that I looked at it like his 13-year-old daughter, not niece. I misspoke at one of those streams. His daughter. So the inbred and stuff is a lot more, you know, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know the right words just thinking about it. It's more applicable, I'll say that much. So, like, he saw me as a 13-year-old daughter and stuff and was messaging me quite a bit, even threatened me. And I think Dave remembers this, where I told him that this guy was in my DMs threatening that I disassociate with Dave. I'm like, yes, he's did all this. He did all this. Yours truly. So so going forward, after knowing all this, he was knowing that he was harassing its calendar, harassing Bullfrog, harassing Vikings, apparently who harassed Prince Idol and Dr. Earl, though they don't really talk about him much. They just talk about how Dr. Earl really talks about how Vax Channel calls in and just just there in silence and stuff. And yes, he's that creepy. He does creepy stuff like this. He like there was one video in which I wish I got saved where he's talking about like first things first. It's Steve Cowan. You're a fucking homo. Like like that one, oh dude, I wish I got that was saved. That is probably peak Facts Channel moment because he literally was folding his face as he was talking. He was looked like he was about to fucking swallow his own head, and not no joke. It was so goddamn funny. It was like the faces he makes, the stupid like scowling. It looked like a fucking like crypt keeper or something. Who knows? What it was that freaking bad. It was not to mention he was in a dark where everything was dark and the only thing you could see was his face. That sort of creepy. That sort of creepy. You're a fucking homo. Then went talked about it's Callan, well not or not is Callan, but it's the Costanza going, I have all your information. They'll what he probably has more than that. Who knows? But go like this guy didn't said all out of things, and then he talked about me. Like the video was mainly about me because he was talking about how you accused me of saying you were my daughter. How do you know when I'm not in the DMs? How would you know I was saying that about you in the first place if you weren't in the DMs? Yeah, okay, that's how dumb he was. He was retarded. Yeah, this is the guy we dealt with for quite some time, though. It was fun. So now after those moments in time, well, actually, it wasn't after. This was during a lot of things, if I remember correctly. Because at that time, which actually that video was after he made a video on Dave saying, debate me, Dave Rose. You're evading me, you're a pussy, you're this, that, and the other, right? And then Dave responds, and it prompts Dave to respond. And Dave's response now causes Vax Channel to quote unquote kill himself. Yes, but he wasn't dead yet, but this is quote unquote kill himself. And then he comes into chats as quote unquote his brother-in-law wanting vengeance on Dave because Dave made Fax Channel commit suicide. So Fax Channel basically faked his own death and posed as his supposed brother-in-law who was married to his sister. Yeah, and that seems like a lot of fun there. So that goes on for quite a bit, and then after all that spiel, then we get the video of Back Channel attacking bullzie. Yes, this all happened. So after all of this, and that video was prior to the harassing of Fact Channel going to people's DMs, which led to Fact Channel making a video wanting to debate with Dave, and then Fact Channel killing himself, quote unquote, and then actually resurrected to make a video on bullzie. So basically, that summarizes Fact Channel's run so far. Basically, faking death, harassing people to talking, wanting a debate with Dave to killing himself to, you know, going after bullzie. Going after bullzie. Yeah, this is quite some interesting stuff right there, if you ask me. Very, very intriguing. None. Check everything. I hate the noises. How is everybody doing today? I think I'm doing great. And anyway, so going forward, so after all that happens, people were asking me, "Hey, why is this guy even going after you? Why is this guy?" I personally don't. I didn't even know. Like all I knew was he was claiming that was his. I was supposedly the age of his 13-year-old daughter or some shit, or claiming I was at least. And then there you go. Who knows what he was thinking at that time? I guess I just existed and he wanted to fuck around, which is basically the interview that he kind of just admits. Yeah, I was just fucking around. That's what you get from the guy. Now I'm gonna check my audio. Just admits, yeah, I was oh wow, my audio is great, awesome. So as we reminisce, going forward, and this is now going to the interview stuff where like he's and this is also at the time where he's talking about declaring a holy war on Dave, and he's deleting his videos after he makes them on Dave and bullzie and Ken. He was making a lot of videos at the time, just to point out. Making a lot of videos. So, and he would delete them. Yeah, classy, very classy. And all of that, he's also asking for an interview. And this stems from okay. Now I don't know if this is interestingly true because apparently he also wanted an interview beforehand. I don't know what this guy's deal was with the interviews. But then when he comes on a video, he says, "Well, I just want to be understood. Yes, please interview me, Bullseye." I was like, because I was talking about just interviewing the guy at the time. I didn't even know he wanted an interview with other people. I was like, you know what? I want to do an interview with his dummy. I want to understand this guy. And he was like, I can't believe somebody wants to understand me. And I really don't really understand him outside of the fact that he's an inbred retard. I really don't really understand him. I just understand like he's just an inbred retard who doesn't understand himself. That's my conclusion, I think. And if you get to the interview, and if we do get to the interview, and the interview is pretty much the last time you kind of hear of him, sort of. And it's the interview kind of goes as you expected, trying to understand what he's trying to say and making weird, dumb stuff. I was surprisingly very nice to him when I really pulled that up again. It's like, wow, that was really nice to this guy. Yeah, so like that's what it turns out to be. So like, and I understood that past bowls he was just trying to be nice, just so Facts Channel is more comfortable to feed him information in the first place, which worked for the most part. The problem was, the problem was it didn't. He didn't say everything he wanted to say because he wanted to explain his situation. He wanted to. People want to know why he wanted to interview, and he never really explained any of that. He never really explained anything why he wanted did what he did or why he wants what he wants. All he tells me is I'm the way I am because I have a short fuse and people go after me in the community. So basically he's like that because people go after him. Whatever that means. And also his excuse for deleting his videos on YouTube is basically to save memory on phone. I don't understand either, but that's his statement. Which you can talk about the interview right now. We can even do a review if you want. Uh, I wonder should I review that stream? It'd be fun to review. I'm sure people don't like looking at my awesome wrestling photos. What do I want to put? I guess I could take it off on the stream mods anyway. Doesn't need to be a me anything other than you know. As we go forward, I'm still contemplating. Should I review it? Because it really is a funny stream. I think I could review it. There's plenty of to review. And going, and if I continue on, and I'm only 20 minutes in, I think you know, it's a whatever. I don't think it would be a problem if I did review it or not. So I don't, should I review it? Still contemplating that. But just to continue though, so after the interview, it goes as expected. So thinking this through, we were still kind of talking here and there, and he's still in my DMs. Yes, he's still in my DMs, and this was when Skype was around still, 3 years ago. Remember, this was 3 years ago. So we're understanding something. So he was still somewhat around, but only talking to bullzie so far. And as you expected, when it comes to talking to bullzie in Facts Channel, I was trying to tell him, okay, be nice in the chats if you really want to hang out. And he would go into the chats, and I kid you not, he would go into the chats going, "Oh, don't mess with me. Bullzie's got my back." He said those things. And I was like, God fucking damn it. But those are my words. Like, he actually fucking said those things. Why is he saying that? Just be nice. And he gets blocked in every chat again. I try to tell people, tell him, be nice, don't do anything dumb. And he does something dumb, and then was like, people block me for no reason. They hate me. It's like, God. That's that guy. And then afterwards, we never really spoke again. And then it turns out like a year later, and I believe it was like it was 2023 after like or prior and I'm not even gonna bring up the Scott and Wire stream because that a lot of people and yes, this happened prior to Wire bringing on like Scott or something or beforehand. But yeah, Dave Rose gets to notice that yeah, he volunteered money to his cause. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, uh, yeah, Vax Channel is dead in 2023. Dave Rhodes gets to notice, calls bullzie up, and I believe Vikings was there too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we were both there. And Dave Rose was talking about this. Hey, Vax Channel's dead, man. It was like, holy shit. We were shocked. You know, in one of like previously in Dave's when a person fast forward and was talking about, oh, didn't you mock the Facts Channel's death day? I'm like okay, clearly that was Scott. The guy also said I wasn't Scott, but clearly that was Scott. Like you don't know that out of the blue. Clearly the person paid attention. It wasn't anybody new, but it clearly was Scott. But I'm saying this right now. We didn't mock the guy's death. But we mocked him, we didn't mock his death. That's what happened. He dies. We were shocked. And considering what he did in the past, and we were mostly like, we didn't care about the guy. We just knew, okay, this guy was dead. He was a piece of shit. He harassed people. He threatened to dox people. He threatened people in behind him. He threatened me. Right? He's done all this. This is the guy who's done all this, and he's an inbred looking motherfucker. It's not like he was. Well, he probably was special needs, but I mean, he did claim say he admit he was in special ed. What a surprise there. But we all knowing all this, and most importantly, we know this. Facts Channel was impossible to communicate with. You know what's amazing to me? I somehow, 2022 bullzie, was able to have a conversation with the Facts Channel. What are the odds of that happening? Yeah, he volunteered many to his cause. Yeah, well, and I think you're referring to YR and Scott. Why are bringing on Scott again? Which there's multitude of vacations, so I'm gonna have to be quite specific of that. But what I really want to talk about is though is the Travis and Seaman. This is another thing because this played. He did play a part into this, not too much, but mostly because people were mad at me for some things. What does Dave say? I'm referring to you mentioning that Fax said bullzie has my back. Oh yes, he you remember that, Dave? He's Oh my god! Like he would say that. I'm like, oh god, why is he saying this? What am I gonna say for this guy? Oh well, excuse him, he's retarded. Yeah, that won't slide too much. Yeah, yeah, but again, Travis Seaman, Dave, and anybody else listening, I'm sure you're aware of those things. And this is another thing I think I should really cover. So he volunteered you to have his back. Yes, he actually did. And this was prior to the interview, and I was trying to tell him to be nice to people. And yes, basically. And he was like, because I was trying to tell him, hey, be nice, telling the mods, hey, please, hey, I know this guy, but try to give him a chance. And this guy took it upon himself because of this, was like telling people in everybody's chat, well, they got my back. 'Cause, dude, I didn't want to like I didn't want to be mean to the guy because I was really trying to get him to be cordial. Which, quite frankly, I should have just fucking given up on that point because I was surprisingly tolerant. I am so amazed how tolerant I was back then. That is amazing. I question myself, why did I even bother trying? I guess bullzie was just a naive little boy. Well, not boy, but I was more of a man than a lot of people. But yeah, yeah. So there's that. Anyway, anybody remember Travis and Seaman? There's plenty to talk about this one. Oh boy. Old wounds die hard, or something. Well, actually, well, old wounds don't heal over time, I guess. Opening old wounds there, I guess. So, curious, what do people remember about Seaman and Travis? In this, I'm talking about like when Travis and Seaman first started going after Dave. There's the Ken and Dave fight. Yes, that's another thing. Big events, big moments. Ken and Dave, I won't dive into too much because it really. I think that those two just kind of fell off at that point. They made up and eventually got back together. So there's a plus. But realistically, it starts with Ken and Dave. Well, not really Ken and Dave. It starts with Seaman calling stuff out, and then it leads to Ken and Dave fighting. And Seaman kind of I noticed this because Seaman kind of pushed it and piled on to Dave once Ken started going after Dave. Like, and there was no like, and I was the only one. Yes, I was the only one that was able to try to settle the peace, but then I got fucking criticized for trying to do that. But everybody else, I'm going to comment on it, But whatever, right? Whatever. So, other than that, Seaman, Travis, after the fight, and supposedly, yeah, Bars was there too. Wired hit a stream, and it seemed like it was going to lead to all of this. This is the whole start of things. Yeah, you remember, Dave? This is what I remember because this is one of the things I'm trying to be careful with. Because, my God, anything I say, this was a serious moment for a lot those three, especially for Seaman and Travis. It was amazing, right? Travis, Seaman, Jake Bars, FAO. Yes. Welcome, Tiff. So we know this. Reminiscing this. I probably should have just like never commented on this because when I really think about it, because I got a lot of shit for nothing. Because I was trying to be diplomatic. I got a lot of shit. More shit than you guys understand. Like I was trying to be diplomatic because like it was one or two ways. Either Dave or them. Dave or Ken. So like it just is like when I said something, I was criticized. Everybody else was saying something. When I said something, I was criticized. And Dave's confirms this. Yeah, hell, I even went to back for those two. Like I couldn't really go to back for Dave, and we'll get into that later. I went to back for Travis and Seaman. I spent fucking months arguing with Dave over this stuff, and like we're talking about like the doxing and the personal info. Dave will confirm this, like, and we've had several talks about this, and it was a serious moment, and At best, it's all the same, right? And there's things today I don't agree with Dave doing, like the Tony bringing on Tony and letting them stuff. Dave, you know, yeah, you really did be a neutral and told me where I was wrong. Yeah, even then, I tr- even then tried. So like, I spent a lot of days arguing with Dave. We'll put it that way, and I still call it a lot of flack, a lots of flack. So like I said, maybe I just shouldn't have said anything. But guess what? I probably would have been criticized for not saying anything as well, because I also get criticized for not criticizing Dave. So when I do say something, I'm criticized. When I don't say anything, I was criticized. It was like, what the fuck do you want me to do? It was either or. So knowing Travis is Seaman, and this is also talks about the weak cottage, but we'll go then. Because you also have to note Travis was in my DMs. And I was arguing with Travis too, don't get me wrong. But Travis was in my DMs. He was like, it didn't, he says he wasn't trying to, but he was telling me all sorts of things. Hey, Dave did this, Dave was that. I'm not saying Travis was wrong, but it was certainly trying to get me to turn against Dave. In moments where I wasn't in his chat, Dave's chats, Travis would come to me and go, well, I see you haven't been in Dave's chats. I'm like, oh, dude, like, can I not? Like, dude, he would have done this. He'd done these things. And Seaman even reached out to me here and there, and he got mad at me for even questioning him on things. How fucking dare you? These two had points. Okay, the problem wasn't that they were wrong, but they were fucking overly childish. They were overly fucking babies. Like I tried to go back for them. I tried to go to back for them. I defended them, and it wasn't good enough for them. I don't know why. I don't know what led them to that thing, and this goes to Weed Cottage, but to remain on this point, I've agreed with them mostly, and that's probably more than what I can say. But even then, if Dave and I remain to be cool, that bothered them for whatever reason. I do not know why. So like, there's two things to take from this. One, and Seaman and Travis finally got to Dave. Dave did not take them seriously. You could tell the way he was arguing with them. He did not even give them the time of day. He wasn't having it. But the way Dave argued with me. Two things I took away. How Dave approaches things is sometimes he doesn't deal with it. Dave argues with people, and I noticed with this with Luke Rojas. He'll just mock you if he thinks your fucking opinions are stupid. But Dave will attempt to have a discussion with you if you do this way. And Dave will match your energy. I do the same thing. I match the energy. Yeah, same things are below me. So Dave doesn't really bother with some things. Dave won't bother though, and trust me. And this is how I got to the conclusion where even a lot of people agreed with me when it came to Dave. Some people would say Bullzie won those debates. To be quite frank with you, it says a lot. If Bullzie is able to argue with Dave in a better way than everybody else, maybe it's because that people were mad because they wanted me to go against Dave. That's my take. People wanted Bullzie to go at Dave at the time. You at least have an intelligence worth debating. I say you do too, Dave. And again, I'm saying this right now. There's a lot of things I still would like to talk about. Like, there's things I still disagreed with. I think you already know the Tony bringing on Tony. I was like, what? But we'll get to that later. And then, in fact, we'll explore that another time. In fact, I question why you brought on that guy. To each their own, but I'm like, what? That guy? Really? I mean, it's okay. I guess it's one thing to champion him going after shitters. Shitters let the shitters fight, right? It's a whole nother thing to bring on the guy to let him take over your show with his own clips and review the show. The show he said he only watched for 4 minutes. Just saying. Don't mean to be that guy, you know? Yes, you certainly are not the first to criticize me about Tony. Get in line. Oh, well, other people complained about that, huh? Tell me about. Well, you know what? I'll be the last in. I guess I'm in last in line. Also, what are your thoughts of Ken being on with Tony? Not sure what to think of that. My thoughts, you know what? Fuck it. You got people are allowed to stream with whoever. They want. Dave with Tony, Ken with Tony. I question. Don't get me wrong. I don't know why you two would even bother going on the call with the guy, knowing his past. But you know what? We live in an era of community where people just stream and forget and shit. So it's like, who cares? I could criticize all day, but then I'm wasting fucking time, and we're going in circles, and just like these are my thoughts about the guy. We have our own thoughts. Ken's cool with Tony. Is Joe cool with Tony? Because like sometimes now, you know what? Fuck it, Dave. This guy did in fact say, Tony, Joe Kernan saved my life several times, and not to mention this guy was on Ryer's channel. Remember this, where he would come on and just talk about Joe when it's completely about something else. Well, I mean, to be fair, you were talking about Luke Rojas, which probably is to Joe, but point being, Tony would call in with clips and just kind of make it about what he wants to talk about. You were talking about Luke Rojas. Tony came in with his own clips and basically took over your show. It became Tony's Drama Diner. And you were kind of silent throughout the parts where I was hearing Tony talking out to the point where I'm like, I'm gone. And I was like, Dave, you might as well just run the vacuum at that point. Like, that's how I took it. And you were like, well, I can hang back and just let others talk. I mean, like, yes, you've left calls for 15 minutes and let others have their reign and give them the spotlight. I'm okay with that. But it sounded like you just let the guy take over your show. Oh, you're gonna cover? Okay, cool. I'll let you call in. I'm sure. Alrighty then. I put it in the chat. It's open for Dave, really. Okay, come on. There we go. It's ready for you. So put it in. There we go. Stupid goddamn StreamYards. Maybe I should go to computers. Hey, phone, you're not really doing me any favors with the debate coming with the cell phones versus computers, asshole. And we welcome Devious Dave Rose.
All right, thanks for having me. Although you said you were last in line because you're not the first to criticize me or to question these sorts of things. Yeah, I guess you're getting the front of the line treatment. Hold on. This is not using the audio that I told it to. Give me a second.
Yeah, but by the way, how come nobody else came out publicly about this?
There we go. Hold on. There you go. You should hear me better. Well, because they can contact me privately and let me know. Well, again, but that's the thing, though. It's just like, okay, there's opponents out there for of Dave, where I guess you have a good point in that sense. Like, where are they? I have the answer. They're all fucking pussies. They're gonna make videos about me. But like, you know, you do have a point. Like, where are they? Because there are people that criticize this, but the ones whose opinions I value come to me. You know, they're not scared of me again. I'm scared of Dave Rose? Shut the fuck up. But people, you know, come to me privately like, Dave, I don't agree with that. In fact, I'm gonna, you know, rip you a new asshole for bringing Tony on the show. Blah blah blah. I find it comical because I get shit on for that. But I haven't heard any criticisms of Ken for being very cool with Tony. You know, on the show and stuff. And again,
it's a fair point, and yeah, I can see where you're going with this with the double standard. I left those. I know about the first two times you had Tony on. First was about Garguts, and two was with Ken. I left those alone because one, it's your show. I can't control that. I don't have any issue with you having whoever you want.
But that's the thing, though. You never really had an issue with Tony, but I did. I certainly did the dance. You know, we were doing the whole drama thing back and forth. But like nobody else had a vested interest in this. They're just people on the outside looking in mostly. Again, I don't know if you had an issue with Tony and like he went at you or something.
Well, it's called Reminiscing for a reason.
What's that?
It's called Reminiscing for a reason. Yes, and Tony has went after me before, but
Okay.
continue.
But, you know, him and I really did go after it. So it's just like anyone to sort of criticize, you know, that, you know, massive thing. I don't know, because he also had a big deal with Ken, and they're cool, right? You can't be cool with people. You know, you can't just sort of like move on and shit. And it's just like, yo, okay, he did some bad stuff. He's also admitted that he fucked up multiple times, and you know, people like me or Ken sort of held him to account. You know, I'm not sinless, and I've done my deeds, but again, it was justified in my opinion. People will disagree with that. I'm perfectly fine with their disagreement because I know I'm right. And I've talked to a lot of people who have basically said the same thing to me, and they've appreciated that I've defended them and just at least tried to take heat off them, sort of thing, in all these drama wars. But you know, it's the whole idea that I'm such a bad guy, I think, is over exaggerated. I've done things that people might
You
consider.
make a good villain, though. I always say this.
Oh, of course. But that again, like it's that wrestling mentality. It's just like, yeah, you could be a face and stuff, and you know, okay, cool, high five the kids. Meanwhile, being the heel is just so much more fun. So, but I make a natural heel. A lot of people have told me that throughout the ages. Really, I mean, again, it's like 10 years. 2014 is when I joined this community. August 2014.
Yeah. Take it easy.
And it's been more than 10 years, but I've met so many different great people. We stay in contact. We share, you know, just, you know, interactions and stuff. We could play video games together. We could just interact. But it's just like, I've met a lot of cool people this way. And I'm certainly not going to be coerced into leaving. And that's never happened. And it's never been successful. And, you know, because I think they were also saying the same thing about you, Bullzie. You said they're trying to get you off YouTube.
Oh well, yes,
They try the same
but
thing.
again, it's actually more to do with Tony. You said that I don't think Tony and you had butted heads. We have before, and
No,
I'm gonna get into that later.
I didn't say you didn't. I just didn't know if you did. That's why I asked. Did you ever?
Well, there's no okay. So basically, you're asking if we do have an issue now. Yes, we don't have an issue. Okay, clarify this. There's no issue with us.
No, I just no. I didn't know if in the past there was any interaction that caused you guys to butt heads. See, again, I'm ignorant on that, and I'm asking. You know, did you ever experience that?
Well, okay. Since we're doing this, how this happened. I did make a stream, and it was about yeah. Well, actually, we'll just start with the fact that I was in your chat once upon a time, and Tony was reviewing you, and Tony, instead of like getting mad at you, got mad at me for chatting about him, talking about him. Going, you're done, brother. You're done. You're done. Wait, where am I? Wait, I was doing another dab first. He was doing all those fucking shit, dude. And he was claiming things like, you're done, Mosey. I know your shit don't smell. I know your shit. I'm like, dude, why would you even search me up? Like, what did I do? And then he posts apparently an article and like the Lost story. Yes, he started this and he was doing a stream with Simo. I'm listening in and I'm like, dude, like, because I said words, this guy decided to try to post an article about me. Tony himself. And it was like, he got us that one time. It's just like, I made fun of him for it too. Like, dude, you are petty. And then afterwards, he was like, well, I got more after claiming that was my biggest secret. I'm like, wait, then what were the other ones? My even bigger, biggest secrets? Like, what is he doing? He's done all this because I said words. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to bring up beef and all this stuff. This is reminiscing. He's did all. I have my fair. I've butted head with plenty of people. I mean, Scott decided to try to make videos on me for no fucking reason. Zemo was there with Tony. I don't know what the fuck his deal was. He looks like Joe Cronin of his face caught on fire. Somebody tried to put it out with a shovel. I don't know what that his deal was, but he was there. He was there. Blob looking shit. Apparently he's gone now. But yeah, Tony and I butted heads, and quite frankly, in the time, afterwards, he's still coming to my chats every now and then. He used to do this, and this was 3 years ago, mind you. Where like, you suck, bullzie. You suck. Like, dude, like, I thought you destroyed me. Like, why are you coming in my chats for? What do you want? And Casey's asking to call. Is Casey asking to call in? Oh, no, never mind. He's saying no, super evil. I thought he was asking. Never mind. I read it wrong. God damn
No,
it.
actually, that's what I kind of thought when he said that.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. But yeah, point being, yes, Tony and I butted heads 3 years ago. It's
Okay.
old now, old news. It's done.
Yeah.
Buried.
And that's the thing, though. Like, this goes back to what you were saying. It's like people were saying to you, how could you continue to back then? How can you continue to associate with Dave or even be willing to interact with them and stuff? And that's why I said, you have at least certain people like Travis and Seaman below me, at least back then. So it's just like it's not worth debating anybody who's critical of me, because some people will just go, and you're guilty of this too, circular logic and stuff. But at least I can have first of all, your vocabulary is better than most mouth grunting fucking knuckle draggers out there, and also you raise valid criticism that people, again, like I said earlier, just like you're not the only one making these exact points. So I've tried to address this and stuff. I have nothing to hide. But more importantly, just like, even if I explain myself and you disagree with me, we can still continue to interact like adults, and you can continue to disagree how I handled things in the past and such, and tell me about it, because you have an avenue to tell me, oh, Dave, by the way, I don't agree with that, but I'm not going to have a tantrum or nothing like that. We act as adults. So therefore I respect that, as opposed to other people who they're not going to have a genuine, it's all going to be in bad faith. That you're not going to have a proper conversation because they've already decided what they want the outcome of the conversation to be. Right. So at least, in your case, I'm dealing with somebody who has some respect for truth and, just wants to discuss things like a normal human being.
Yeah, well, it might appear that way. I might go in circles because I'm trying to explain to you something and you come off as stubborn. And that's
no. See, that's the problem. Is that you're blind there, is that you're thinking that when, again, you're missing certain pieces of information. So you can't always believe that your argument is actually sound if, again, somebody with
that's
a lot
kind of
more
what we're both
experience,
doing, though, right?
Not necessarily, though, because that's the thing, though, is that certain people that have more knowledge in things and also life experience, like, dude, you are like almost like half my age, I guess. But like that, it's not something to hold over your head, bullzie, because, again, I treat you like I would a normal person. And it's more like, okay, well, you're saying things that you're not fully aware of. And the only way to sort of transcribe that is through personal life experience, but you can't explain personal life experience. You've got to experience it. So it's just like you're coming from a place that might not have all the information, and the only way to convey that is if you experience it. There's no way to literally verbally explain certain things. So
I understand that aspect, yes. And there was one person that I listened to, and he was telling me, like, and you're right. Like, sometimes experience is just better than knowing something. To understand something, experience is the best way. I'm not denying this. I'm just coming from a place like, oh wait, this is my truth. Not fuck that, not my truth. Truth is absolute. There's no such thing as my truth. My bad. I'm just saying, like, this is how I'm seeing things, and of course, I'm not trying to say you're absolutely wrong, because you could be in theory right. I'm just, what I'm looking at is, this is the truth, and I'm in firm belief this is the truth, and we go in circles about it because, like, wait, how come you're not understanding my point?
No, I do, but that's the thing, though. I've explained that I understand where you're coming from, but if you're missing certain things, your truth might not have more information to it. So, like, you're trying to solve a crime scene or something. I'm just trying to use analogies here, but you're trying to solve a crime scene, but you didn't see the cartridge underneath the car that had the fingerprint. Like, although you're coming to a conclusion, it's not the right one because you're missing a few things. Those few things, again, are personal life experience and wisdom that comes from age. Those you can't transpose on anybody that hasn't experienced them. That's the only way that I can explain that. Although your curiosity and veracity is admirable, and looking for the truth, there's certain things that are missing that can't be explained. So what you consider being stubborn is basically saying, no, you're missing these pieces of information that I can't provide you. All I can identify is like, you will know that when you experience that. So it leads to circular logic when you believe that I'm being stubborn, when really all I'm trying to do is saying there's a missing portion of this equation here, and there's no easy way to provide it to you.
Okay, so basically what you're trying to say is I may understand the knowledge, but I don't understand the full context, right?
Yes, that'd be the easiest way.
Yeah, well, like I said, I could just translate
that
for you.
but
So
again,
I translated that for you. So basically, like I think I'm not trying to say I'll understand everything off the bat, but I like to think of myself as wise and intelligent enough to transcribe what people actually mean.
The folly of youth. No, I never even thought that I was wise, even at your age. Wisdom.
But I think I was wiser than, well, okay.
Wisdom.
Maybe not
that's called common sense, dude. I know where you're going at. Like, oh, there's retard people like fucking Fax or Bullfrog that exist in this world and somehow haven't starved to death. No, that's not. That's a totally different thing, dude.
Did they not starve to death?
No, seriously, if it wasn't for like social services and stuff, do you think these people would survive? Imagine 1,000 years ago, would a bullfrog literally survive unless he was, I don't know, put into a circus or something that was sent around medieval England? Like, do you think these people would survive like 1,000 years ago?
No, but I would like to think that they would be used as like I don't know, clowns for like a circuit, like some entertainment. Because I like to think like if like Fax Channel looks extremely old. I would like to think when Moses was, listing names and counting the firstborn sons, and then he got someone to like Fax Channel who's like, what the fuck?
He should be part of he's dead, but traveling circus. And like Bullfrog 2 would be a very good addition to that. In fact, there's a lot of people. Isaac Rojas, for example, he'd be a great addition to that. Yeah, there's quite a few.
By the way, were you able to get to the full video to Luke Rojas, or was it just?
Yeah, I reviewed the entire. It was either 8 to 10 minutes long, somewhere around that, and. Yeah, I basically paused it every little while and analyzed all the bullshit that came out of it.
Well, again, analyzing this, like, okay, he would have a point if he was better at like elaborating his points, but it turns out like it sounded like first of all, like he was just like, oh, but like you said these things too. Well, like that's a stupid argument for one. No one's saying that they don't say dumb shit. People are just pointing out what Joe says, and he's a public figure, as people pointed out.
Yeah,
and this is why they don't want anything to do with him.
You're not the only person to say this and actually analyze what it breaks down to. Is that Joe is a public figure, and more importantly, just like forget about that. Imagine that it wasn't YouTube; it was like I don't know, a friend group. And if people start to whisper things to each other, start talking about other people and stuff, are you going to shut them down? Be like, you can't talk about that. Says who?
Right. And this is the same criticism that I got back then. This is pointing out, I've been told the same things. How dare you talk about this? It has nothing to do with you. Like, wait, hold on. It's a public platform. And everybody's talking about it. Why am I disallowed this? And now it turns into like Luke Rojas is making, well, why are you talking about this? Why does it bother you? I mean, like, have you been lost for the past, 5 years you've been around? Like, people talk about other people all the time.
But that's the thing, though, I have to make one point clear, is that people talk about each other privately a lot more than they do publicly. Okay, because again, the people that are facilitating conversations about drama, like myself mostly, are the ones that basically have that provide that opportunity. Yeah, Ken goes live and sometimes talks about that stuff, but like the options for those videos airing is much less than it is contacting one of my drama channel in my server, for example, or messaging me directly, or messaging you directly, or messaging Ken directly. So basically, much more of this discussion goes down in private than it currently does publicly, because again, the avenues are limited. Very few people are willing to have the guts to even touch these sorts of topics, like yourself. You have the guts to talk about, okay, so there's only 2 people watching right now, that one of them is probably me. But again, you also said that people watch you separately, but again,
I'll be back. I gotta tell somebody to leave me alone.
Okay.
Hi, Casey, you want to say something?
Wanted to come in and say hi.
Hi.
So how are things?
It's not that type of show, Casey. We're here for business. I'm actually interrupting my meal prep.
Meal prep.
Back. So, what did I miss, Casey? Did you disappoint Dave again?
Yes, from the get-go, from the first syllable.
Casey, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? You're like, dude, you still have yet to do 5 push-ups and eat an apple and send me it. Like, why haven't you done it yet?
You don't know if I have or haven't done that yet.
How come don't I see a video?
Hold on, you can't take my word for it?
No, that
yeah, I'm just gonna
worth nothing really. It's worse than a Nigerian $1 trillion bill.
Hold on. We can't be on the honor system and just trust my word.
Casey, the honor system is falling through. Like
I doubt that you were ever a Boy Scout, so I can't trust your word.
I was a Cub Scout.
All right. So before you try to humiliate yourself again, Casey, do you understand what we were talking about?
I was hearing about the Luke Rojas deal.
So what's your opinion on that?
I think, I don't know why he's so a huge defender. I can understand,
You really are retarded. I've explained this so many times, even in my videos. This guy,
Casey, come on,
have
sound it
a
out.
father figure. He doesn't have a father figure, and Joe has been there for him since he was like 13 or something.
That's
okay, Casey. Let me help you out. Play off of what I was saying, where I was talking about how Luke Rojas was making a poor argument of saying, "Oh well, you did this too." Well, dude, that doesn't work that way. Joe is a public figure, so people that see him say some dumb shit are gonna probably not want to associate with him. Now, what do you say to that?
Well, it's kind of like the same bullshit I was just got into today with Ghost, because when I was posting some stuff about Joe, and he didn't like how I was posting some calling Joe's bullshit out. Where I was accusing of Joe stealing Maven's content and use it as himself.
Well, yeah, okay, but specifically about Luke Rojas, what I said about Luke Rojas. We can get to Ghosting if you want in a minute, but let's focus on Luke Rojas for now.
I think he's a little defensive. That's a little too. I agree what you guys were saying. I really can't add.
Come, Casey, come on. Talk faster for one.
Yeah, please. Girth Vader.
Have you not learned anything that bullzie has taught you? Or I guess Dave as well, because apparently from text tells me apparently Dave Rose has been trying to teach you for years and years.
That's right. I told
Yeah,
him.
it's not gonna work.
Oh,
You know,
a good beating. A good beating will get you fixed up real quick. I promise you that.
Dave, like I don't know, like how did you do it? Like this 3 hours of talking to this guy, I was grilling him because he was saying, like, dude, I tried to get him to use Cash App, and it turns out he already had it downloaded. It's like, well, dude, like after all this
Actually,
is telling you to download it, you already had it downloaded. Like, why not just say you had it already?
because I usually use PayPal for stuff. I never had Cash App before.
No, you
Well,
did because it was already installed in your phone, so you did.
Well, I mean, I had it installed, but I never used it.
Ah,
so you
there
just
you
had
change
it there for
scenarios.
the sake of being there and just never used something.
Yes. I probably
Casey.
was thinking about using it for a way to get around using for super chats instead of that, you know?
Well, you know what? Yes, but Casey, Cash App is more than good at just donations. It's good at investing at. Like you use it. Use it. I've been telling you this like on your
Hey,
stream.
he's
Like
got a good
use it.
investment in his video game collection. He could flip it,
Oh, here we go again.
but again, he should be insuring it. I'm going to call it. I'm going to contact his HOA and make a claim that he's going to try to take advantage of their rent and insurance and claim damages for his video games or something. So like it'll force him to actually present insurance to the HOA. I'm sorry, Casey, you forced me to do this. You're going to get insurance on that collection because if something happens to it, I'm going to have to come down there to Oklahoma and do bad things to you.
Hold on. Which one?
Casey, I
one's
already
more-
revoked your status as an Oklahoman, and you're going to go to Pennsylvania. It's okay. You're going to go there.
Well, why don't you just deport me to Canada so I can be roomies with.
All right. Relax there. I'm not that sadistic. Okay. If I send you to Canada, that's a fate worse than death. Okay. I'm already stuck here. It's terrible. I wouldn't wish that on my own enemy. So.
Like Casey, like, do you study up on Oklahoma at least? And did you at least try to get? You didn't try to get fed, but did you at least know something? Did you learn something from bullzie when he told you stuff about Oklahoma?
I know a bunch of stuff about Oklahoma. I lived in Oklahoma for most of my life.
Remember when I talked about how Oklahoma has been voting Republican for practically its entire, well, not entire existence, but basically for the past 50 years, right?
Yeah.
And it's a red state, also a very community-driven service, Christian, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So those are good things about Oklahoma. So here's my question. Why the fuck do you like spending all that? Why do you fucking like going to like fucking tragic places? Your first thought is, oh, look at all the tragedy that happened in Oklahoma. Oh, look.
Well, I only brought up one trash detail was the Oklahoma City.
You brought up fucking violence and riots and murder.
Okay,
like
that was a
That's wrong. You're lying. Stop it.
Okay, that's true. I did bring that up, but that was a joke. But
death is a joke
jokes,
now.
Yeah. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go have a smoke.
Go for it.
But
Anyway, Casey, now you gotta deal with me now. Dave Rose is, by the way, gonna be a lot harder on you than I will be. But anyway, you wanted to talk about Ghost. Go for it. Let's hear it.
I'm pretty sure we're probably going to be talking about that on Ken's show, but I was just bringing
we're
that.
going to be talking about many things. Reminiscing. This is a reminiscing.
Yeah.
Having yet to get into Seaman and Travis, but go for it. Go talk about Ghost.
Well, I was just upset. I didn't was aiming anything at him until he started at me because I posted those things about Joe, and then he aimed at me about first he's like, you need to get a job and work out. Like, work out, yes, I agree. I need to get in better shape. But I just happened to go take a shit and looking on my phone when I saw that. I was like, motherfucker, I have a job. Like, obviously he doesn't because he was harassing me during the whole day. But I was like, and then he got butt hurt a little bit because I called him. I don't want to say. I don't
Just say
want.
it. They say you're safe here. It's not like you're gonna get tortured. It's okay. Just say it.
All right, well, I called him. He's a fucking faggot
Uh-huh.
because I told him to go suck Joe's cock. I mean, I told him why don't you stop sucking Joe's cock and being a fucking faggot. And then that just made him really upset. And then he went way for the
Low
he
hanging
went
fruit.
low hanging fruit when he brought up my wife. I was like, okay, that's pretty fucked up. Like, it's like Dave says, you don't bring anyone. One, you shouldn't really bring in anyone's family members. That's one thing. Then you're gonna bring up someone's dead spouse. I'm like, that's just horrible, man. Like,
Oh well, I don't shy away from bringing up dead people, but
yeah,
I guess it just depends from the context of how you're bringing it
but
up. It's somebody, so I guess so.
about a person's dead spouse, though, that's pretty fucked up.
Well, it's
Like,
just trying to hit you below the belt where it hurts, Casey. Just so you know.
well, I know, and like, I knew that was the reason why he did it. That, and I love how people likes to use that in my way, and honestly use my speech impediment against me. And like, okay, couldn't you figure something else out? Like, that's stupid. That's like that's taking a cheap shot.
Hmm. Well, I mean, it's true though. That's the thing. You got a speech impediment.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, okay, like, none. I know I have it. Okay, so what? Like,
Well, obviously you two decided to butt heads and started slinging insults. There's your first issue, Casey. It's insults. Okay, now this is to him and to you. You didn't even need to say the insults, dude. Like you could have basically asked, "Hey, bro, like, hey, bro, you understand that this is a Discord where people here on a regular basis criticize us Cronin, right?" That's
yeah,
one way you could have done that. You didn't have to call him a faggot or a chronic cocksucker, considering that he's cool around those parts. Now, if it were to
well,
be towards Luke Rojas, it's a different story. You got to be able to read the room, buddy. Nobody really again came to your defense or Ghost because like they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to say. So
what they,
if I were you, Casey, if if you wanted to avoid that whole spiel, you could have one just been like, "Hey, bro, like everybody criticizes Cronin. What's your issue with me doing it?" Like him calling you a stalker is like
yeah,
obviously you're
I
not a
was
stalker,
like,
right? You're not a stalker, right? You're none of that,
oh,
correct?
I mean,
You're
is
not a
there
stalker.
the define stalking? I mean, like, it's not like I actively like I'm gonna go find.
Define stalking. Did you just ask me to define stalking? How about, well, let me just put it this way. Following and paying attention to somebody 24/7. Let me put it that way.
Like,
Is that a good enough definition for you? Somebody that
definitely,
pays attention to somebody constantly, somebody obsessed. Is that better? Why am I
yeah.
explaining
I,
stalking?
I I know what, man. I was just fucking around. I was, of course
Thank
not.
God. Fuck. KC, man. You were about to get me to grill.
But no,
No, if I
was
have a
not.
half a brain, if you had a half a brain, you'd be dangerous. Yeah.
Here, get this. So the only reason I knew about that, I wasn't actively looking for this. I was just scrolling through my just scrolling through YouTube, I saw this Maven clip with Vince Russo clip. And watching it, and then I looked down. I was like, "Hold on, this is corrupted." Or Joe,
Mm.
like Joe's second channel. I was like, "Hold on." So I was like, he just like. Then I realized like he just literally just cut up some Maven's clips out of the video that he did. I'm like, I was like, hold on, he didn't even bother to do like any commentary. He just straight up just stole Maven's content and used it as his
That's I
own.
know. Yes, yes, you pointed it out in the Discord. So yes, Joe is using Maven's content and for clicks, and you're talking about the wrestler Maven, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Maven,
So
good content creator, fine, but
he's doing a
as for
great
Joe,
job.
as for Joe taking his content and uploading it, let me put it this way.
That's
I don't think
or
it's a much of a big issue, being that he's just trying to get eyes on his content. And let's
yeah.
be honest, it's not. I don't really think it matters too much. Don't get me wrong. Clearly, Joe is just desperate to get anything at this point. When I see
Well, he's getting
that, he's just trying to get out. So
well,
this is what I say, Casey.
well,
You can.
he's getting thousands of views for really no work because that's someone else content they just decided to cut up
That
and
I agree with. That I agree with. That's somebody else's content, and you're taking somebody else's content and using it for yourself. I understand
and
that.
what
But
but they're
you know what Joe would say? You know what a lot of others would say for Joe?
yeah
You know, you want to hear?
I'm back, guys. By the way,
Other channels and YouTubers take from bigger content creators and chop them up and say and post them for clicks. This is a common thing. Now, I'm not trying to say this is a good thing. I'm not the kind of guy to do that. However, Joe is not the first person to do this. So this is a reoccurring thing. Now, you can call him out for that. That's fine. But I'm going to warn you that this is going to be something that is going to be thrown back to you, Casey. Oh, but other people do it. How come I'm being criticized for it? You know what you say to that? You want to know?
well I was saying
You
well
you want to know?
yeah sure
Two wrongs don't make a right. Just end it with that.
I mean that's true. See, I wouldn't have had a problem if he would done like a commentary over it, you know. Then like, hey, he's doing something about it. I was just like, hold on, he just literally just cut it up and put no commentary or anything about it and just uploaded it. And then I just after I found that out, I was like, I clicked onto his channel and he's like, you already had 5 more. I was like, what the fuck? Like this guy's straight up just stealing someone's content.
Well, at least you know that. But at that point, I don't think you really need to talk about that any further because remember what I told you, Casey. It's fine to talk about this stuff, but don't take this as a personal issue with him. Okay, just understand. You're talking about many people have done these same things, and I'm not saying to call him out for these things, right? But you're pointing out something
how
that
dare
is
you? How
actually
dare you
widely known.
call out a pattern that you recognize, something that has continued on for years in the community? How dare you call that out? Because you're just reminding people that patterns exist for a reason and that certain people continue to embody those patterns. How dare you, bullzie?
Well, like, I mean, am I the bad guy for telling Casey this is a recognized thing throughout the times? Like,
No,
is
I'm
that what you're
just saying
telling me?
that anybody that ever says that in this community gets reprimanded because, like, how dare you, point to
Oh,
what
I see.
happened 5 years ago, even though the same behavior exists today? Obsession,
Oh, I see. I
delusion.
see what you're saying. Oh yeah,
But
yes,
like
I pointed these things out.
because
But
I
And
Because
and
I
you
just
want to talk about the evil spectrum still, Casey? I know, but let me end it with this. This is a reoccurring thing with not just Joe. Like and plus, people are gonna go to you and remember what I said. You're like, oh, other people do it. Other people do it. Just say two wrongs don't make a right and be done with it. However, understand that if you constantly call, if you just hyper fixate on this, it just seems like, wait a minute, it's gonna look like you're just pointing only Joe out, but it's just how people go, and I've seen it. It's like, how dare you? It's like, shut up.
it,
It's what he's
it's
doing.
like I said before. Fuck them. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. So I really wanted to talk about the Seaman and Travis. I didn't get too much in because these two guys,
Casey called that.
and yes, and these two guys, and listen closely. Like I was going to back for them, and Dave has already confirmed this that I was arguing with him for them,
Yep.
them. So like they were coming to me in DMs, including Travis, and then they were telling me like, "Oh, Dave did this, Dave does that." And I'm not trying to say Travis was wrong or Seaman was wrong, but the problem was that they kept coming to me. They kept coming to me, while also criticizing that I involve myself into things I don't belong in. Well, I guess I just wasn't allowed to give my opinion, but then ask, "What? I see you haven't been in Dave's chat." Like, dude, like, fuck off, man. Like, why? Why is this a big deal? Why it's either you want me in Dave's chat or you don't. Like, I don't know which one it is. And the last time I spoke to Travis when a DM is when after Travis and Seaman argued with Dave on Nikki Nine's channel. I was in Dave's chat after making a video talk about who was really right. I agree, like I said I agree with Travis and Seaman, right? They were still mad at me. Still. Like, I don't understand. Like, I really don't understand. Like, I was the most diplomatic person as I can be. Like, probably the best person, but I was mostly criticized just for being that way. I was mostly criticized for arguing with Dave, or not arguing with him enough, or not going at him, or just like anything else. But when I argue with them, it's like, how dare you? It's like, dude, like, you either want me involved or you not. It's like either or. They couldn't make up their minds. And a lot of the things that Travis was telling me was eerie similar to what Weed Cutters was saying, by the way, Dave, just so you know. And we'll get to that later. But point being, this was going on. This was really going on. Dave even mentioned, like, if you just kept it to one stream, you probably would have won. People would have probably agreed with you more. Guess what? They kept going after Dave. They wanted him to do a drama stream on them. Dave just refused to do it. He was like, nope, Blue Ball's not going to do it. Nope, Blue Ball's not going to do it.
Yeah, the blue ball.
Nope. Like, and yeah, I would go in his chat sometimes. You get to do the review. Got to do the review. Dave Rose just ignored it. So there you go. The problem was, again, they had an issue that I wasn't really calling out Dave while calling him out, but all the while calling out Dave, I was involving myself at the same time. It's like, wait, I don't understand this. And there are multiple people were saying this, like Scott, Tony, etc. You name it. Even Facts Channel at the time was coming out, how dare you come out? And like, dude, who are these people? Like,
Yeah.
dude. So, like, Dave is confirming this right now. All of this did happen. And I am telling you, without a shadow of a doubt, I have argued with Dave more times than anybody in this community. And people know me for calling people out. That's what people know me for, especially with Joe thing. I've called out Dave probably more times than anybody combined. And guess what? It's still not good enough for people. So it's either fight with Dave, be evil, think he's a piece of shit forever, or like I'm the piece of shit for still remaining on good terms after a civil discussion. I don't know.
But again, like, can't people just, agree to disagree and actually have a, sort of interaction that's logical? Do these people, because their emotions override their logic, that's why they can't comprehend this possibility that literally two people who might, again, disagree with each other can still function like adults. That's the biggest reason.
Weird thing is, Seaman and Travis were intelligent people. And you might disagree with this, Dave, but they were intelligent. Yeah, but that's what I
Not
say.
high
Like,
level.
well, I mean, Seaman, don't get me wrong. I know what you think, but you yourself had in discussions with Seaman before where it was civil before that whole like you do the review on us,
Yeah, but
please,
I
and stuff.
remained civil and they did not. That just goes to show their emotions control them. So
And that's so bizarre to me because Travis and Seaman showed that they weren't so emotional before, but they were extremely passionate about you for who knows what reason. I don't understand it. Like for Joe, they had no problem calling him out. For Tony, they went after him, no problem calling him out and all that stuff.
no, they
For
realized
Cuddy, but
they interacted with their better. That's why I said
no,
that some people. That's why I said earlier that some things are below me to discuss because they're just such jokes that it's not even worth my time. If it's again somebody who's willing to not be disingenuous in a discussion like you, who's willing to criticize me but has logical reasons to do so and doesn't devolve into emotion, then yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's discuss. But I recognize from the both of them because again, you explained it earlier, is that with Seaman trying to start shit with me and Ken and stuff, it just goes to show that it was emotionality that was running his intent rather than logic.
to be fair, I think he no, I don't want to just like there's plenty of blame to go on, but when I think back on that, when you and Ken were arguing and you guys were in a heated argument, Seaman called in and he pressed the issue. Like you piece of shit. I'm like, why do that? Like I get it. It's like there was info revealed about DMs, and I remember correctly, it was about SEMO and the information of him supposedly doxing Ken, and you had information about that. And there's like this whole thing where like Seaman calls in, how dare you reveal something that of a DM, you piece of shit. And
He's
that's
the
why I
one that
say there's
fucking challenged me to it. He was like, "Oh, you can't prove it." It's like, well, okay, if I've got to dig into DMs, then so be it. But you're calling me a liar, and I was called a liar long enough where I said, you know what, I have self respect, and though I'm willing to, overlook the lower IQs, and that's a simple fact. Okay, you got to accept that when I say these sorts of things, they have meaning, but okay, finally, this person is forcing me to he's calling my cards. Okay, fine. Here you go. You asked for the private DMs to prove that I was not a liar, and I don't take that lightly. And I took enough abuse from people and again, like, dude, 100 years ago, you'd get in a duel for somebody calling you a liar. Okay. So I proved myself simply with DMs, and he was mad at that. It's just like, but no, you tried to put me in a catch 22, but that's not going to work because you challenged me. I showed you up, and now you have nothing to go on other than emotional outrage, which isn't, again, anything close to what you had wanted to try to prove me as a bad guy was when you initially challenged me.
well, like interestingly enough, when he kind of pressed the issue, I mean, like Ken and you were already kind of like in a heated argument, already on bad terms at that point. C-Man called in and he pressed the issue. What I mean is, he called you a piece of shit. He in fact engaged in piling onto you. And my understanding from that was, of course, you were putting up a spot to defend yourself, and this is like you might disagree with this as well, but I saw it as an emotional trigger where like I'm gonna have to prove myself. Here's the info and stuff and so on and so forth. And that I think that's what I think led to. Kenny and you was a different story. And honestly, the way you two handled that was honestly fucking stupid. You guys should have like talked that up in behind DMs if there was an issue at all. And this whole thing was about apparently like you about like if I remember correctly, you said you were getting info on Tony or something, and people were saying, "You don't need to do that." And you and Ken were talking about this, and it just went downhill from there, and it turns into, "Hey,
No, it
you
wasn't
had
that.
this."
It wasn't that.
What was it then?
It was that they had Ken and Shannon had said that they were scared of what Mo could do because he was threatening both of them. And Simo, not Seaman, Simo from Detroit, Michigan, who works at the White Horse bar, whatever the fuck, as a line cook and a karaoke host. Pathetic. For the last 20 years, even more pathetic. But I basically revealed that they were concerned and scared of his actions because they realized he was a fucking psycho. And the whole premise was that Seaman was like, well, prove that Ken said that he was scared of Simo. And I was like saying, like, dude, he told me this. No, you got to prove this. You got to prove this. Or if not, you're a liar. And again, that's the thing, though. 100 years ago, if you'd called me a liar, we'd have the right to duel, right? Or I could fucking kill you right there on the spot. Okay, laws used to have some fucking meaning. So the thing is, though, these days, right?
Okay.
You know, some people might call you a liar, and you can tolerate that up to a certain point, which is what I did, because again, you're trying to attack who I am, and I speak the truth always. I have no reason to lie. That's why I leave my videos up. So you can judge me on who I am. But if you're going to call me a liar and then challenge me to prove that I'm not a liar, well, then that's what you get. You get fucking DMs that prove that I'm not a liar. Done.
Anyway, hi Vikings. Just to say hi to him. Nice to see you around.
Vikings.
Yeah. So to say this, yes, I recall you about the Simo and Ken talking about the whole thing where you revealed Simo's information about doxing Ken, something around that. What I'm talking about is beforehand, before you got to that, there was you talking about how I'm going to get information about Tony because Tony doxed Ken's family. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, and I accomplished that quite well.
Yeah, I'm glad you're just kind of owning up to it at this point. Like
I have nothing to hide. Again, I don't take my videos down. I don't make fake accounts. I'm here to be judged. So again, this is why we can have an interaction because I'm going to be honest and not disingenuous, and you are going to do the same. So
yeah.
That's how we have discussions like adults, people.
Yes. And good stream so far. Huge replay value. Anyway,
huge.
Going off of this, and this bleeds into the whole Travis and Seaman calling you out. Tiff brought up bars. He wasn't part of it too much, but I'm pretty sure he was part of Detective Club along with Scott, which revealed the fact that by the way, that you were saying they were associated with Scott. It turns out they were when they were denying it. So who's really the liars, right?
Oh, look at that. Dave Rowe is correct again, simply by using intelligence and logic. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, and they ran away afterwards, and afterwards when I say Seaman and Travis scurried away associating with him, Seaman had to come back and try to say, no, that's not true. I left because of all the bullshit. I'm just like, buddy, the bullshit was going on as long as you were here.
I do remember you mentioning that. And again, like you also mentioned that like they could have just done a stream addressing that I would not address them, but they never did. And I don't know if you encouraged that or you were just saying like, yeah, they should do that because, if they're crying so much about you making a video and you don't do it, why don't they fucking just make a video addressing, that you don't address them? And they never did. So I think it's quite comical. And you sort of saw this, you called it out, but more importantly, it's kind of crazy that they were criticizing you despite the fact that you're literally, criticizing me. So did they think that they could use you as a pawn or something? Like, what's the deal?
It's strange because it plays into the fact that they think you are manipulating me.
That's right. That has been the rumor in this community. My protege, has been manipulated by me. Some people in Alberta, they said that you were groomed, man. You're groomed
Y-
by Dave.
Well, you know what? Let's even play with the idea of how it's being
Mhm.
manipulated. In a discussion, Dave, let's just play with this idea. In a discussion, Dave, where I was disagreeing with you and you were disagreeing with me, well, let's just put it this way. Aren't we, by that logic, am I manipulating Dave now because I'm trying to convince him of something or some shit like that? Am I making him agree with me and say, oh, he has a good point? Or like, how does that work? Please, I don't know. Like,
I, I
him.
I I can't. That's the thing, though. I could lobotomize myself. In fact, I could just get decapitated. Okay, no brain stems connecting, and I would still not be able to have the IQ necessary to understand what they're saying. Okay, literally, it's just beyond incredulous. You are also right to question this sort of thing because no logical person can understand this level of thinking.
Yeah. And these two were supposed to be smart. That's the thing, though. And these two, in fact, showed they were smart. So why even say stuff like this? There's like, did well. Then again, they probably were talking. Like as you said, they were talking to Scott back then. So I guess that's where they heard it from, and so therefore they must be true. Yeah, that's the only explanation for it. They talked to Scott. That's it. What else is there?
It's hard to argue otherwise.
Yeah. Like again, like I'm pointing these things out because like they criticized you. And they were playing huge defense for Ken, mind you. And I'm not trying to nothing against Ken. In fact, he
It was
remained.
true. I do remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Dave
And
was the
Ken wasn't
bad
even
guy.
really part of this stuff. Like he was actually trying to stay away from it. In fact, he even criticized you several times here and there, but never played a defense for his Travis and Seaman. In fact, criticized them. And we were talking about this beforehand when they were caught associating with Scott. We were like, bro, like why go like you're now associating with Scott just to go against Dave now? Like weren't you like telling people how dare they be in Dave's chat after being quote unquote a doxer? You see the irony? Yeah, you know what? I think you're thinking about this. Like they were telling people, yes, in fact, they were in fact going after people for being in Dave's chat. How
No,
dare you?
dude, I've noticed this for decades. Well, not decades. I mean, let's be honest. But like, yeah, for years on end, I noticed that people would get targeted, and these people would actually, well, a lot of them would come to me and be like, "Hey, look at this screenshot. Look at this. These people are attacking me because I'm simply in your chat." You were absolutely correct on that.
Yes, in fact, they blocked people in their chats for just being in your chat. By the way, so it's like, well,
And they've tried to
wow,
hurt people. They've tried to hurt. That's the biggest thing. It's like, okay,
really? They try to hurt people?
oh yeah. They've tried to attack their jobs. They've tried to affect their income. They've tried to create narratives about them. And that's the thing, though. It's just like you can attack me and notice that there's people that support me in my chat. But once you go after them, and obviously I notice this and people tell me, it's just like, okay, it's whatever I do is still not justified against what you did against these people because they had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And why can't you just keep it, one-on-one? We know it's obsession. It's a low IQ mentality, demon fucking infestation, I should say. But again, these people they're cowards, basically. It's just like, I can't attack. I've said this so many times, dude. I can't attack this person, so I'm going to attack anyone that's in their chat and try to coerce them and convince them to never support Dave, to leave the internet. And yeah, we've seen this multiple times in the past.
Well, interesting. I've never seen Travis Seaman attack somebody like this. I've seen them.
No,
Don't get me wrong.
I'm talking about somebody else who's in Canada. Not
Okay,
me.
that's well. Anyway, you could say his name. Goddamn Dirtface. I mean, I know. Well, then again, I don't know why I say his name because he's just gonna make a video and like.
Yeah, and what does that say about obsession? What does that say about what he projects onto other people? Oh, you're obsessed with me because you mentioned me for the first time in 2 years. It's like, dude, you got to understand, and you will understand, that people will talk about you just like they talk about me. I said that earlier. People are going to talk about me privately more than they're going to talk about publicly. Not just because there's no avenues, because nobody has the guts to fucking do a stream, but they're willing to fucking make a fake account, pop up in my chat, or speak privately. But again, I know that that's going to happen. I'm not fucking, as Bart Simpson would say, having a cow man. It's just like, okay, I know people are going to talk about me, but if you're going to talk about me, then I can talk about you, and don't have a cow man, because I'm going to fucking do it. So again, it's equal. And if somebody has an issue with that, well, then that's their own fucking problem. But
Yeah, and that's the thing though. Like, listen, it's not like I get it. People don't like Dave. There's times where I've criticized Dave, right? But the problem is when I do criticize Dave, there's a lot of people that go, "It's not good enough." There was, in fact, there's been like, "Not good enough. He's not doing enough. You're not going against Dave." Like, am I supposed to be your like weapon? Like, what am I, a fucking weapon? Like, am I like your projection fantasy? Where, yeah, I can call it Dave and make
no,
a point.
you're a meat shield. You're a meat shield. Basically, it's just like, you do our battle for us. We don't want to get our hands dirty. That's what it is. They're willing, and again, they're willing to sacrifice you. You're just useful
Yeah.
for that purpose.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm much more intelligent than they are, if that's the case. I don't know. And I have to like do the work for them. But then again, they're the same people that would criticize me for even talking about this stuff. Right? So it's, again, it ends up like this. Either I go against you and I'm hero, or I'm bad guy for not, because I'm talking about the same things. I don't know. It's just either or for them. And like I said, Travis Seaman did criticize me for this, and this bleeds into Weed Cottage. And Weed Cottage was around for a bit, and after the Detective Club that got
Still could never
exposed
do
by
shit.
Scott himself,
Still
right?
could never do shit.
Yeah. By the way, Weed Cottage showed up after the Detective Club went away, which got exposed, by the way, and said some eerie similar things that Travis and Seaman were saying, especially in DMs. Like, there was one moment where Weed Cottage was in my comment section telling me, like, how come Dave Rose reported my channel? Like, isn't it making sense now, Dente? I'm like, why are you talking to me? If you think I'm just this fucking weirdo dude and who just is gone, that's what you think of me. Yet you're trying to tell me Dave Rose bad. Like, we've been
Do
down this
something,
road.
bullzie. Do something.
Do something, please. I'm too retarded to argue with Dave, but you're 10 times smarter than me.
Well, you know what? Maybe if you, like, I don't know, studied and read the scriptures that you supposedly like follow Scott, maybe you would be smarter. And yes, scriptures does make you smarter. Trust me on that one. I know firsthand that scriptures do for you. It's like I don't mean to make it about scriptures, but briefly, let me say this: once you are an enlightened, a lot more lies. The truth is less hidden. I'll say that much. But anyway, point being, if people really wanted to go against you, maybe don't go after the chance. Maybe like have a point. Maybe don't get mad. If Dave Rose says things like does this, he knows it gets people angry. I noticed that. Like, I know Dave does these things because he knows it gets people riled up. Like, if he's calling you short little ad hom attacks because he knows what he's doing. He's trying to get a reaction out of you. And newsflash, he got it. I've always tried to tell people this, but they don't want to listen to me. Fuck me, I guess. You there? I think
I'm here. I'm just, listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but-
you're correct on what you have to say, and it's the thing is, though, this is not like something that either of us started saying yesterday. This is close to a decade of us saying the same.
yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
if you're not capable of recognizing a pattern close to 10 years after the fact, then the problem's on you. Okay, because it's just so clear in this community. There's some people that really just want to enjoy themselves. I'm one of them, and have fun. But then you have these people who just try to force themselves back in when everyone said, we don't want you here. We don't like you here, and you're never going to be accepted. And we're just trying to do our own thing, but we have to constantly deal with people that come into our chats that are, again, oh, I don't like you, bullzie, because you did this, because you made me look bad or whatever. And then they just, or like, I don't like the way you talk. So, like, dumb shit like that is really how pathetic this community is that they're like, okay, so I'll troll you in the chat because I don't like the way you talk. It's like, dude, find a hobby or find euthanasia. I mean, it's just pathetic.
I used to get the dumbest. I mean the dumbest fucking criticisms. You know what? One of them was,
What?
I donate.
That
That was a criticism.
a lot of people have gotten that criticism. Okay, a lot of people have gotten that criticism, no matter who they donated to. Sometimes it's right to criticize, just like you're supporting this or that, whatever. But in the end, though, it really doesn't matter, because it's, as long as it's attained legally and they work for it, and it's not some snap or EBT bullshit that they're getting. If that's the money that you worked for and you're willing to give it to a certain person, that's on you, right? Nobody else really has the ability to sort of judge that. So it's just like, if you earn that stuff, it's not something you're getting from the government, from taxpayers, that you made that money. You earned that shit. Spend it however the fuck you want. It's not my business at that point.
What I mean by I donate, though, as in when people kind of listen to me, back then this was a thing where I made a point. I was like, "Oh, but you donate, so fuck you." It's like that was the criticism. Anything I said, well, you donate. It was one of them. No matter what, that was one of their go-tos. Well, you're just a donator. What do you know? Like, that's it. I kid you not. That was the criticism. That was their go-to at the time. But that, and even then, and a lot of other things, like, this was another criticism I got, like, oh, but bullzie streams. It's like, I stream.
Well, I don't understand. I'm trying to analyze this, but I don't understand the logic. So you donate, so therefore you don't have the right to speak about things. I don't understand that logic.
It's one of it's
But
not
other
just
donators
that, but it's also try to discredit me. It's also to
How?
try to discredit.
How,
Like,
though?
I don't know. Like Jacob RP at the time, if you remember correctly, was like, "Oh, but you have this money and donate and stuff." Like, what? Like, this was a lot of things.
But hold on,
Even
isn't that just sort of revealing that he has no money to donate? So he's just hating on you because you have disposable income that you're willing to spend on a guy that he watches and likes. But oh no, he can donate, but I can't. So I'm jealous of him. So like, I gotta hate him, because that's the logical adult thing to do, is to hate somebody that's got something that you don't got, that supports a guy that you like, rather than keep your mouth silent about it, like, oh shit, there's another guy that gives Joe the money to pay the water bill, and he can do the show that I like to watch. No, I'm gonna criticize the guy that fucking donates to Joe. And there's so many people, bullzie, there's so many people who've done exactly that. They criticize people that donate to Joe to the point that they just stop donating, right?
Mhm.
And it's just like, dude, you were the one criticizing this whole situation. Joe's not getting enough money, but like, you chased off fucking donators.
Yep. And then, especially with Scott, like, he even, like, if you remember the fucking call I had with him where he screamed at me about, you have to donate and stuff. It's like that was a lot of people's go-to at the time. Oh, look, he donates and stuff.
Exactly.
Like, it's all dumb. It's all dumb. And you brought up, like, the people chasing away donators. Back then, Joe Cronin would say a lot of things about donators once they left. I haven't talked about this in time, but at the time where I was still listening to Joe Cronin, I went back into his chat, and I haven't told this story before, but I remember this like the back of my hand, where I went back into Joe's chat, and people came to me. It was like, how dare you be in JD from New York's chat? I'm like, what? Like, why do you care if I'm in JD from New York's chat and shit?
Yep.
And what I was told is Joe Cronin brought it up. I'm like, huh? Now, I didn't think much of it at the time because I was like, I was just a young guy, 20 years old. I didn't know any better. I was just like exploring, and I was making so much money at the time. I was like, shit, I'm being successful. I was flaunting it at that point. And I was like, wait, like, well, you donated to other people too. Like, I thought you were supposed to be a Joe guy. I'm like, apparently I was supposed to be like some loyalist. I didn't know this. D. Welsh was defending me though, funny enough. Put in the chat, like, leave him alone. He could be wherever he wants. But other people were actually criticizing me. And because at the time Joe Cronin pointed out something I was doing in another person's chat. It made me scratch my head, like, I don't know why that mattered. Like, why do you care where I'm at? It's just how I found Joe in the first place. Don't get me wrong. I thought JD from New York was a. I think JD York is kind of worthless at this point. I don't know. Like, I see him as a screaming dwarf at that point. But I'm making the point that Joe Cronin, for some odd reason, takes issue with donators going somewhere else. It's almost like he sees them as fucking like footnotes or something. Like this, like are they like a fucking a bank or something? Like this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, and he goes, "How dare you steal my donators?" Like I don't even know how you do that. How does one steal donators? But
It
yeah,
got to the
Joe
point
Cronin-
where Joe was saying you're stealing the sandwiches out of my kid's mouth.
yes, but I make it the. This is the point. Joe Cronin will mention it now. After a while, like Joe was like, "Oh well, it's a fine if you're at JD from New York's chat. That's how other people found me too." But it still boggled my mind. Like, why did people take issue previously that I was, and Joe pointing it out? I don't know why that would bother him if it was just not that big of a deal in the first place, right? Right. And now to talk about people being chased away in further detail, you could make the argument that I was chased away, but here's how it really happened. Once upon a time, and I told the story many times. You could see this on my Joe Cronin review at that point where he was talking about like, oh, bullzie was manipulated by Dave. Now he hates me. But I explained this. I explained this thoroughly. That there was in Joe Cronin's Discord, there was an argument of a guy that the name of Lord Dracon was threatening to dox me in his Discord. And Joe Cronin said, well, Jake DeMarco confirms this first and said, oh, no, he's talking about a person he was arguing with and who he was. And Joe Cronin goes, oh, this is just a troll. And Joe says, quote unquote, that I'm going to have my lawyers look into this. You're going to get attacked, bullzie, by people because you donate. That is what Joe said. Now, going forward, be somebody of the name of, and this is a troll account, by the way. Afterwards, I was in, yes, I've actually talked with Garguts before, believe it or not, and this was 5 years ago, mind you. Or rather, yeah, 5 years ago, where like we were talking. The name of dysfunctional donator. It was a D Welsh account, fucking troll. It was funny as shit. Like basically, dysfunctional donator was a troll name and making fun of D Welsh. Tells me about the YR program. I explained this at the YR program when I searched them up. I found them. We talk about these things, and guess what? The next day, Scott and Joe are caught doing a stream together, bitching about how Bullzie and Nikki J are now at YR stream. Your donators are leaving you, Joe, and all that stuff. And Joe was like, oh, I'm just here to defend myself against the guy that, fucking tried to ruin my fucking streams and, try to take me down to and talk to my family, stuff like that, right? So knowing these things, YR this is when YR actually showed me the video of Joe and Scott doing the stream. I was at the time under the impression he was disassociated with Scott. So I go into his comment sections and ask him, hey, Joe, I know this is a weird time to bring this up, but I know this is also I'm the last person you expect me to bring this up, but I saw you doing a live stream with Scott. And I'm iffy on the details of his history, but I'm wondering if you could shed some light onto it. Because to some of us, this means you're going to continue to associate with the guy. Joe Cronin comes to me in comment sections. Apparently he deletes that, by the way, but tells me that, oh, I'm not associated with this guy. I was just defending myself and stuff. But I heard that you were doing a wire stream with YR program and stuff. The guy who, flagged me and reported me. And, the same guy he accused of doing that is now doing streams with him 5 years later. Who would have thought? Anyway, continuing on with the story, Joe then comes to me in DMs, tells me the same thing, but YR and his people flag and report me and try to take my channel down. But it's okay though. You can hang over there. I'm done with YouTube anyway. I'm about to leave YouTube. This was 5 years ago, by the way. All 5 years ago. And after that, I was kicked from his Discord. All of this happened. Now I can continue with this story because it seems like people are into this, so why not? So continuing with this story, Dr. Earl comes to me. Hey, you want to talk about the being kicked from Discord? I do. I talk about this at the time, and we're chatting about this, and we're chatting about how Scott and Joe were associated with each other, and how Scott should not be Joe. So nobody should be associated with Scott anyway, considering his history and what he'll do. And Scott McKinnon is just known for going after people just with the slightest opinion. Shel Bryan once upon a time told me, just slightly disagreeing with him is basically asking for him to go at you for no reason. Or, basically that. And yeah, Shel Bryan's gone because of him too, by the way. Anyway, now we know these things. So Scott McKinnon, when I was doing a stream with Dr. Earl, apparently made a stream reviewing the bullzie stream he did with Dr. Earl, which is, by the way, Dr. Earl's stream, by the way, misspoke. But he was reviewing me going, bro, you're being manipulated, bro. You're impressionable, bro. They're convincing you that I'm a bad person, bro. Like, don't let them convince you, bro. We were on good terms before, bro. Yes, he was actually talking about how we talked on stream, and we had a good chat and stuff. Which, by the way, I think I remember that, and that was the time, and this was way a while back too, where I caught him eating 2 Big Macs, going, "This is a veggie burger," but that's neither here nor there. But apparently, we had a talk, and we had fucking fun talking. I don't know. Apparently, he has a better memory than. Then again, he keeps track on the community 24/7, so of course he's going to know this stuff. So anyway,
oh, dare you say that, because now he's going to go after you.
Suck my hairy balls, fucking Scott. Anyway, going forward, this now knowing all this is happening, I wasn't around for 3 months. By the way, I was gone for 3 months. SC Steve was the only person hitting me up. By the way, I should point that out. And that's how I learned of Lockjaw. Just to point that, yes, SC Steve was the only person kind of sort of reaching out to me. And he was at the time telling me, I should have told this story to you, Dave, because he was reaching out to me at the time where apparently he was no longer allowed on YR's channel. And because you were criticizing YR, hey, this guy's a piece of shit. Why are you having him on? And YR was like, you got a good point, Dave. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't around.
Yeah, that sounds like YR.
Yeah. So basically, I'm being hit up by SC Steve. And SC Steve's telling me about Lockjaw. And SC Steve's telling me about how, I was just making it like people don't want me around anymore. And because I made a joke about Joe again and spreading Corona, I understand it's a joke, but it sounds slanderous the way you're putting it. Like we were talking back then, and then he asked me to block him once I accused him of being a troll, and there you go. I blocked him because he asked me to. Then comes back to me saying, you should question Dave Rowe because he was looking up my IP address. Which by the way, I should probably ask, what was the whole idea of searching SC Steve's IP address, just for clarity?
When me or somebody else?
Yeah. Well, SC Steve accused you of looking up his IP address. That's what he was telling me at the time.
Yeah, he was wrong on that one. I didn't have to look up his IP address to find where he was, but again, that's these people, many people in this community, sort of believe that they know about technology and networking and IT like I do, and just throw things out, hoping that these words will, stick. Again, I don't know if you remember, but like Scott, and I talked about this, Scott, on a private conversation with me, was saying, do you know what DDoS stands for? I'm like, yeah, I do. I worked in IT. He's like, well, what do you think it stands for? It's like, I know what it is. I'm like, I know what you're doing. You're trying to make me, and again, all you have to do is fucking Google it. But no, he was like, well, what do you think it is? And it's just like, he goes to show that he has no knowledge about technology, and he'll claim that he does. But he's also claimed that he's lied to garner sympathy. That alone, once you make that argument to anybody, once you say, I'm willing to lie just to get people on my side, to get their sympathy, everything you say from that point forward is no longer believable. Like logically, it's no longer believable. So anybody, even if they never had an issue with Scott, is if you're willing to actually admit that you're lying about everything just to get support, then from this point forward, we can't believe any word you fucking say.
Yeah, like this guy, like, just to say this, the guy lied about having a pay stub and lied about infected pay stub. That's one thing. Lied about faking a hospital visit. That's another thing. And lied about going to fucking Dave's home, but there was a gate blocking his way, and then left. There you go. 3 lies, big major lies. So need I say more?
He lied over, it was, I guess it was close to years ago, but 2 years ago, but he lied about having a kid, and why I was trying to push it, like, yeah, don't criticize or like, first of all, yeah, don't criticize Scott, he's having a kid. Also, like, why don't you congratulate Scott, he's having a kid? So that was like close to 2 years ago. That obviously was a fake, that was a lie. And again, you can't come back like, well, yeah, it was a joke and stuff. No, but you don't say that. Again, like these people who like facts, like you reviewed earlier, you just can't say that I died and I trolled you. I don't troll anyone, but yeah, I trolled Dave as my brother, saying that I committed suicide. It's just like, dude, once you're proven a liar, nothing you say can be believable anymore. So if you do try to say anything saying, I'm going to refute what you're saying, Dave or bullzie, all we can do is laugh, because you've already proven to be a liar. Nobody believes you. So no matter what you say, it's the skunt that cried wolf pack, like I've been saying for years. You can't just expect people to just believe you after there's a record of you lying. So it's as simple as that.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's almost like, well, and the same people will be like, well, I call out liars and stuff, and be like, well, everybody lies and stuff, but like, I at least admit to my lies. Well, what about you? Like, wait, hold on. If you didn't lie, you wouldn't have to take accountability for it. Does that make sense? I don't know why you want to go on the spiel, like, on this fucking like righteous spiel, like, because you've owned up to it, therefore you're no longer responsible for it. I'm sorry, that's not how that works. Here is how it really works. Okay, if you do bad thing, you are going to be criticized for bad thing. That's just how it is. If you don't want to be criticized for doing said bad thing, maybe don't do it. But that goes over everybody's head, apparently. That's just way too logical. That's just common sense, by the way, to say, yeah, well, maybe it's just don't do bad thing. Maybe bad things won't happen. I mean, like, there's some form of karma that exists, but well, then again, karma is not. The Hindu version of karma is actually hijacked and stuff, but that's a different story. But the idea of idea of negative actions have negative effects, I do think exists. I should talk about Hinduism and its bullshit beliefs and stuff, how it hijacked that karma, where it used to actually be called karmin. Anyway, point being, people that lie, but also want to call out others for lying, and be like, well, this person's a lying. How come you're not calling out this person for lying? Well, motherfucker, if you're worry about yourself, they're going to make themselves look bad. But I don't know what makes you so self-righteous to be like, yeah, I get to call this person out for lying, and be like, how dare you call me out for lying? Which, like, what kind of fucking double standard kind of hypocrisy are you going for? Like, is it lying bad or is it not?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say, but we've certainly analyzed things to the atom, and yet we still encounter these people that are willing to do what they do. So I think that speaks more to about their mental mindset, their intelligence, and their maturity. And at certain points, you got to realize you cannot get these people who have limited intellectual capabilities to understand logic. They're going to continue to act, especially emotionally. And because they're so entwined biologically with acting emotionally, not be able to separate to the intellectual, there's really no way to communicate with them. It really is a lost cause. And I've said this in the past and stuff. You've been very giving with people, because I remember when you were having debates with people in your Discord and stuff, it's just like you would be willing to have these long conversations with these people who are mentally ill, who were extreme fucking commies, but you were willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and try to have a discussion. But that again, twice your age, dude. And I burnt out from that shit. I won't have a conversation with somebody who's already mentally inclined to be stuck in a certain position, which is false. And I can prove it. But that's the thing, though. They're not genuine, so they're not willing to actually admit that they might be wrong. Meanwhile, you and I are willing to adjust our viewpoints based on the information that we get available. So, again, I no longer waste my time debating with certain people. I'm more than willing to ridicule them, more than willing to embarrass and shame them. But, again, debate them? No, not anymore.
Wow, I did point that out earlier, didn't I? Huh?
You did.
Yeah, and this leads to my point. And I don't know if Luke Rojas will ever catch this. He'll probably bitch to me like, "Well, bullzie, you're crazy, do too. You faggot." Well, dude, like I'm actually gonna try to help the guy. Like, if you're gonna make a video trying to criticize, well, first of all, you're gonna have to let go of the Joe Cronin cock, because Out McCall's actually talked with him. Turns out Luke Rojas understands what Joe does, is kind of stupid, but still defends him, which makes me go, why? You're well aware of what Joe does, and you're like, well, he's still my friend. He's still your friend. Joe does not see you that way, Luke.
He does not. He does not. Yes, and the Emperor comes in because this was commented in my super secret server Discord under the drama channel. But yes, he does not view Luke exact. And I think you were one of the people that commented on this. It's like, no, Luke, you're disposable. You're basically, your fodder, your cannon fodder. As soon as your usefulness dries up, you're out.
Yep. And I'm being nice to this. So I'm being nice to you. Trying to be nice to the guy, even though it's probably going to be worthless. Look at him. He looks like a fucking fat Nick bearded dude who would kidnap grandmas and use WWE cards to buy tickets. I don't know. No, I don't know. Who knows? Or maybe AEW. Who the fuck knows? Pro wrestling weirdos are fucking nowadays, and he looks like one. Then again, I checked out his channel. He does review a lot of Dragon Ball Z, so maybe he is that fucking weirdo. I don't know. But I digress. I'm going to try. I think he attempted to make a point. And that's what I'll give him. You tried to make some points. I can see them. Here's the problem here. When you first go, well, why are you talking about Joe? You are talking about three dudes. And yes, Tony had some past with Joe too. So I don't like the guy, but he has a right to opinion as well, no matter what. But those three dudes, Dave, Ken, and Tony, have had a history with Joe on a personal level. So and they've done shows with him, regardless of what you think. He doesn't know if Tony did. Tony has done shows with Joe before, mind you.
A few.
But yes, but I'm saying this right now. Those three had had a history with them. They know how Joe is. They're the ones that expose how Joe is, and that's why you know how Joe is in the first place. Well, more so Ken and Dave, but Tony has done a lot of reviews on Joe too. Benefit just for fair given, what I'm saying, given the credits to where credits due. Those three people have talked about what Joe does, what he does, how he communicates, how he treats his co-hosts. What Lucro has acknowledged with cows, if you read it, he clearly knows this is the things that Ken Dave exposed, and I think those two, based on who should be criticizing Joe, have the most right to criticize him. That's just how I see it. Like, they're the ones that dealt with this guy the most, that are around still. They're the ones
Yep.
that have dealt with this guy. Now, I haven't went through the same things, but nonetheless, I think I have the right too.
But that's the thing, though. Like, again, what I've tried to explain to people, especially Rojas, is okay. You worked with him for say a year, fine. But then again, me and Ken worked with him for over 5 years. Who has more experience dealing with Joe, knowing how he is, and having to deal with what he's done? In the past, it's just like, yeah, you can criticize us, but we have more experience. You can't dismiss us, Rojas, about the fact that we can talk about this because we have the right to, just based on how long or how much longer we had interactions with him than you did.
Also, ad hom attacks from Luke Ross. Oh, pathetic loser behavior. Talking about Tony's pathetic loser behavior, dude.
I never take any criticism from anyone who's heavier and fatter than I am. So,
but to analyze a pathetic loser behavior, first and foremost, that is like Skunt talk, and Skunt is probably one of the most least intelligent people I have ever met. All offense to Scott, by the way. Yes. Anyway, so yes, it's not a real intelligent way to address that. Like, anybody could say that's not even a good insult for one. Like, you didn't even say anything about Dave's lazy eye or Ken's fucking fat body, even though Ken's not fat anymore. But again, I digress. Oh, you could even, like, some people make fun of my bent head, but again, either way, he didn't really attempt to make a point. It sounded like, well, then again, he did try to make a point, but it sounded more like he was doing it in a way that was in defense and sucking Joe's cock, instead of actually making an actual point of, hey, look at this. Because what I heard was, in the first one of those things was, well, Ken, you said terrible things too in the past. Well, here's the problem with that. Like, the way you're addressing that, for one, and take this as a learning opportunity, Luke. You're making a whataboutism argument, or a tu quoque fallacy, mind you, to say, well, what about you? What about you? First and foremost, Ken is not saying he's against over-the-top balls off the wall jokes. He is pointing out a pattern recognition that Joe does on a constant basis that leads people away. When Ken does it, at least it's a good timing. That's the difference. He's always done this in a perfect timing. It's never out of the blue. It's never uncomfortable and never dumb. For Joe, it's like, it's almost like he's just trying to be the edgy for the sake of being edgy. You have to analyze intent, right? Now, if he were to say, well, like, I don't understand why Joe making these bombastic jokes or things is bad now, like, why? Then maybe Dave would be more inclined to explain to you thoroughly, oh, okay, it's because this. But instead, you came off that way, you're going to get that same energy in return. So,
and
just
why
to
not?
point that out. Yeah, I think I'm being helpful when I explain it that way, right? If he does listen at all. Who knows? What do you think?
I think you're absolutely correct. And the disingenuous and, most importantly, illogical criticism that has come, and levied both to me and to you, it's just like, but when you try to at least break it down, and, again, you could do it on a stream or not, but when you break it down, logic is just like, no, this just boils down to fucking emotional fucking infantilism. It's like you just can't stand that somebody actually addressed a certain issue, and you use logic to actually just debase that whole fucking argument. And now your argument looks like a fucking joke. So this person, whether it be Bullzie or Dave, just uses simple logic, just talks about it, doesn't get emotional, doesn't get angry, does a stream, and now you look like a fucking retard. And this is what causes the bigger backlash, because like, how dare you make me look like a retard? I'm gonna fucking go at you even harder now. And we've seen that countless times, Bullzie.
Oh yeah, and Luke Rojas is apparently one of those now. Like even
Oh yeah,
you did never.
oh yeah, he
like,
could not fucking he made multiple videos and multiple comments about the fact that he just couldn't stand that people were rightfully criticizing Joe, but more importantly, people who had more experience with Joe in the first place. He's a he's a cocksucker and he's a defender, and more importantly, he's just not willing to accept the fact that there are people who dealt with Joe longer than him, me, Ken, others, and we have more right to speak on it because we have the experience. Like I was telling you about earlier, it's like there's something that comes with experience that you can't explain. You can't give a course on it. Like if you experience it, there's a different thing, and a certain level of knowledge that you just can't fucking provide somebody. And that's what me and Ken have. We have that experience with Joe that somebody like Rojas does not have. So when we criticize Joe, we are rightfully more so correct than he is, because we have more knowledge and experience with Joe than he does.
But here's the thing, though. He does have experience with Joe, and like I said,
Not as much as us.
Not as much as you, correct? But I'm pointing out he does have similar experiences, and yet he still defends Joe. Like I don't get it. Like I don't get it. Like you have the same experiences as Joe. You understand these things, yet you're hating the fact that people point these things out.
Dude, did you hear that clip? Did you hear that clip in my drama channel where he's like, well, yeah, I don't really talk to Joe too much. I call him, but he never answers me. But like, I don't know about that. So it's just like, dude, this is exactly what me, Ken, Jesse, JB, so many other fucking hosts dealt with. Just like you try to contact him, you never hear from him. Only last minute, like the show's going live. Where are you? It's just like, but I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. Now you're fucking going live. I'd love to be on there, but like, give me a fucking warning and stuff. But like, meanwhile, people have been saying this for fucking ever.
Yes, and Luke Rojas is one of those same people now, and yet he goes to bat for him still.
Yeah, absolutely. He won't stop. Yeah.
So, like, what is it about Joe he sees that we don't? That's my question. Like, there has to be some sort of like something that is so good that makes Luke Rojas that gravitate towards him. You might say father figure, but I think it's idol worship at this point. It seems like very much adultery here.
Could they not be the same though, Bullzie? Idol worship, father figure. Again, they need a leader. That's what they're looking for. Idol, father. Again, somebody who is leading, giving structure, because they're not getting it from anywhere else.
Yeah, but even then, there's no way Joey's providing that anyway. So it's just like, really,
not like, these days, but there are people that still are hangers on that are like, oh, Joe back in the day did this, and again, like what's his name, fucking Rojas has been watching this guy since he was like 13 or something like that. So like he grew up with the guy. This is his father figure now. He doesn't have one in real life. So who does he gravitate to? Joe Cronin. So that's why that gets explained. There are people out there that didn't have anyone, and Joe was there for them. So now they will defend him because he's their daddy Joe.
That's sad. Like, okay,
it is sad. It is sad.
I don't know. I'm 25 years old. Okay,
that's it.
Yes.
Whippersnapper making me feel old. You're fucking 20 years younger than me. You could be my child. In fact, you shall be the next drama emperor once I can train you properly.
Yeah. Well, I'm good at calling people out too, but the reason why I point me being 25 years old out is because I'm realizing how smarter I am compared to the other world. Well, other people, I mean. And Luke Rojas and gravitating towards Joe is not a smart thing to do. And then you really think about it, like how people have diverted from faith so much that they need something to gravitate towards their lives. Yet they act like, oh well, I'm independent. I can think for myself. Yet you're attaching your feelings and your whole basis of your life to one man. And one of them in Luke Rojas, this case, is Joe Cronin. And I'm sitting there going, is that really what you want to do? Like, there's scripture. I kid you not. Scripture. If you give your life to Jesus, everything changes. I'm just gonna say this right now. Giving your life to Jesus changes everything. When you get enlightened, I already said this before. When you're enlightened, truth is less hidden. I mean that. I mean that. But people like this, and I'm pretty sure he's atheist anyway. But people like that choose to put their faith into Joe. Why Joe?
Because
He's just a
he's like, I'm a god. Yeah, I've always had an issue with that, with him and his blasphemy, saying that he considered himself a god. And it's just like, dude, like even me calling myself an emperor, I'm like, yeah, that's over the top. It's funny, but it's just like, come on, guys. Like, I'm never gonna claim to be a deity and to claim, this moral authority and stuff, despite the fact that I'm correct and very, on point when it comes to moral authority. But it's just like, I know I'm fucking imperfect. I know I'm sinful, and that I would never call myself a god. Like, and again, Joe Cronin's called himself a drama god. Like, yeah, I'll draw the line of drama emperor, but like, even still, I'm like, yeah, that's a little, it's a lot, but that's the whole point of the devious characters, to fucking push it to the limit. But like, then again, I
yes.
never call myself a god. I find that insulting secularly, but like religiously, it's just like, that's blasphemy, so it's just like, I would never do that sort of thing.
Actually, yes, that is in fact blasphemy. Think about it this way: the Lord, when the Canaanites, before Israel, where the Hebrews went back to Israel, where it wasn't Israel, it was Canaan. The Canaanites would be punished for basically child sacrifices. They were doing animal sex. I'll put it this way. Yes, or I'm talking about this. It's incest too, gay men, well, homosexuality. They were doing a lot of stuff
A lot of Jew shit.
that was very much against the Lord in worshiping basically a statue of a cow or whatever it's called. Was it a? I think it was a cow.
Yeah, it was.
It was
It was a cow, golden
so
statue, a cow.
golden cow. So this is, and honestly, when I read the scriptures, a lot of the things in the scriptures in the First Testament is eerie similar to some of the things that is happening nowadays, especially what I see with Joe. And there's, like I said before, there seems to be like some idol worship. Instead, it's to Joe Cronin. Now, at least there's no child sacrifices, as we know, but seems like Joe Cronin is sacrificing his dignity for some money, as people are sacrificing their livelihood for some dude who apparently works 3 jobs, but apparently can't pay bills. I mean, I'm not against the hustle. You do you, Joe. I'm not against you making money, but it clearly comes off as a grift. Everybody knows at that point it's a grift, and it's kind of sad at that point. And you could tell that at the same time he's kind of sad about his channel because it's not going anywhere. And all those same people that are on this call are also kind of sucking Joe off very much so. And it's just like, guys, is that what you really want to go out as? Just the guys, people who, it's idolatry. That's what I'm calling it. It's basic idolatry, worship of one man. And people might say, oh, it's not worship and stuff. What do you think idolizing is? It's giving somebody reverence. What do you think worship is? Yeah, reverence in worshiping. You're
Well,
worshiping the guy.
yeah, when it's false, it certainly is not appropriate. But people will continue to defend that sort of thing. Now, Bullseye, I don't mean to cut it short, but I am starving, and I have yet to prepare my dinner, so I must leave you. I
Oh,
do
don't worry. I'll
appreciate the
still go.
time that you've allowed me on your show again.
Mhm.
Appreciation and gratitude. We have it, and the uncivilized do not. Again,
Mhm.
just a reminder, Bullseye and I can disagree and yet still converse like adults, unlike all these fucking retards. But I'm gonna end this call now. But I'll keep you if you're gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep your stream going nice and loud as I cook my meal.
Oh yeah, I'll still be gone. I got plenty to talk about. Plenty to
Great.
reminisce on.
Thank you for streaming. Thank you for taking my call, and I
Okay.
shall see you next time.
See you later, Dave. There goes Devious Dave Rose. Thanks for calling, Dave. It was a good call. Oh boy. Now going on the reminiscing thing. I think I should finish the story with Joe Cronin and the SC Steve thing, where he was telling me how Dave Rose was searching him up, quote unquote. So going off of that was done. Bodark was around. Remember that one? Because Bodark apparently started doing streams with Scott again, and he was telling me things like, "Yeah, dude, I believe in second chances and stuff." Like, you sure about that? But okay. Scott was in his chat, I guess, and had a wrench. People were discussing with Bodark about that and telling him, like, dude, you do understand what Scott has done, right? Right? And like, Bodark was like, oh, well, like I do, but like I believe in second chances and stuff. And people were just trying to tell him, like, dude, you have to understand, this is who he is. This is who he is. I'm not really against you doing the stream with Scott, but it seems like you're not understanding what we're trying to tell you. Stuff like that. So after all that happens, Bodark does a stream on his own and complains about how people are telling him and getting mad about him. Scott calls in and he goes how it goes. Scott gets mad at the call and says the same things over and over again. That's a whole fucking different spiel though. But to emphasize this, Bodark was about it around and he got mad. Did a stream with Scott. YR, Dave, Ken were like, huh? What? And yeah, I'm still cool with Bodark, don't get me wrong, but this was one of the few big things that happened. It was Bodark believing in second chances and giving Scott a second chance. He probably had more than one second chances anyway with Scott, and Yep. That's not a fun memory. It was more like kind of a sad one, if you really think about it. One of the saddest moments of probably that ever happened. Ever happened. Poor guy. Now he's doing better, I think. Anyway. Well, Scott was back and Dave did his streams on the guy, and there you go. Ken talked here and there. Wire did his streams, and there you go. Tony was still reviewing his job pretty majorly. Now, fast forward. Joel Cronin decided to do a Joe versus the World stream where he goes against different people. He argued with Seaman, then he argued with Travis, then he kind of, sort of, somewhat argued with Tony, but not really. And that's when Tony was like, Joe Cronin saved my life, bro. Like, wait. Yes, he did in fact say those things. Don't worry. So, and when he was talking about those things, so that was happening. I call in the next stream where I get dogpiled on the basically Joe Cronin and stuff. Where like, oh, they're just yelling at bullzie. I'm just sitting there like, I just have questions, and they got mad at me because I didn't agree with them and stuff. And there you go. Basically, the whole Joe Cronin Royal Killer stream was basically complaining about people complaining about Joe. Kind of interesting, isn't it? And funny enough, and just talking about this, that was when people started having issues with Danny too. Danny MT in particular. There was a lot of stuff going on around that time, and it was around like 2022 where people started being cool with Danny again. But it was 2021 where Danny and Nikki Nines were mostly fighting it out, arguing left and right and stuff. Yeah, Dave did make some streams on him, and people did go in and make fun of Danny here and there. I remember one stream where he makes well, not one stream, but video he makes where Danny just like fucking just goes off and screams about Nikki Nines and shit. Yeah, those were good times. But Danny is cool now, I guess, though he's not been around lately. Yeah, those are the days in 2021. But back to Joe Cronin. When I was on a stream talking to him about things, they were basically calling me like a commodity, manipulated. I was this, I was that. Well, you can't think for yourself. They're using you for your money and stuff. Like, I mean, like, I'm not some guy who just is a guy who isn't capable of using his own money. Like, I don't know how that works, but that's their logic. But there we go. Anyway, that's another thing. I'm gonna look through my folders. This is my favorite fucking thumbnail. It's the Costanza meant this, by the way. Kids' Choice and starring Jacob R.P. nominated for fakest eyebrows. Remember that guy? Oh, you know what? Look at my eyebrows. I work in the bar now. You know what I'm saying? I work in the bar now. He works in the bar now, guys. Works in a shitty bar. Apparently, he gets tipped high by cougar mothers. I'm in question of that because last time I asked him about like how he would talk to a chick, he didn't really have a good answer. Sorry, not sorry. You are terrible. That's one guy. One guy people had an issue with too at the time, where like he was being in several of those shit entitled to like being on streams and stuff. And Dave and Ken were going in on him and ripping a new one. And they like, you shouldn't have tweeted me that way, you know? Like, don't tweet me that way. Well, sorry, RP, you're gonna be treated how you treat others. If you don't want to be, well, like you know what to say, treat others how you want to be treated. Like, hey, the Lord says, treat others how is how you would treat how you want others to treat you. Basically, that's the Lord. So you know. There's your scripture talk for the day. Bullzie knows scripture a little too much. He's your worst enemy, Satan. Or satanic demons. Who knows? Anyway, going forward. Oh boy, in fact, I feel like reviewing something. We gotta review something. Hold on. There's one video I wanted to review. It was the Facts channel thing. Actually, there's money to review. I don't know why I keep putting this shit over here. What am I doing? I'm a fucking idiot. In fact, they'll just review the Luke Rojas thing. Because, like, I think that's a thing that I think I should cover. Because for the sake of transparency, I didn't completely disagree with it. However, I do think he made piss poor arguments, and that was somewhat of his attempt, but it was bad. I think he needs to learn to make a statement before, you know. Well, think things through before making a fucking claim. Just to say that. I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna find it. And come on, I can find it. There it is. So I'm gonna review this. I want to review this.
So I just, dude, this is so fucking funny. These people are still talking about Joe's show and Joe's channel, what he needs to do, this and that, why it's turned out this way, why his community is dead. 231 views, by the way. But
And counting.
Anyway, these are the same people that go, I don't even care about Joe. I don't watch Joe's show. I don't watch Cronin. I don't watch Cronin's show. But they still talk about him constantly like he is on the forefront of their minds.
Constantly? Constantly. I mean, I wouldn't say constantly. Sure, there is he Joe talked about on a general basis? Yeah, but constantly, no. That's not constantly. I don't know where you got that from. Oh well, apparently he listened to Dave Rose's stream for the past 7 streams, and apparently heard Joe's name mentioned conveniently, huh?
It's really fucking loser behavior. Like, let me tell you something.
Loser behavior, apparently.
I don't like the way that Joe's show is being handled right now. I don't like that YR is basically running the show. It annoys the fuck out of me. But what annoys me,
So basically, what it's a strange statement to say. So he acknowledges that Joe's running his shows in a terrible way, but it also annoys him that people are pointing out Joe is running his shows in a terrible way. I don't understand that concept. Like, how dare you point out the things that are true? You had nothing to do with it anymore.
or are people that pretend that, oh, dude, we're above Joe. Dude, I'm done with that Cronin shit. But there's
But wait, hold on. But they are. People are. Some people might still listen in, but so what?
still talking about it 2 years later after not having been on a show with him in 2 years. There's still
So then, so what? Like, in order to be done with somebody, you have to stop talking about them. Well, that's kind of a standard to reach. So are you okay? Whatever.
going on about what he could do and why is he letting his show. It's just fucking dumb. Like, you guys come off so pathetic.
But well, like, what would that say about you then? Commenting on people, commenting on Joe. Also, knowing that you obviously know this well, Joe has commented on the same people as well. What makes it like? Why is this an issue now? I don't understand why you're taking issue with this now. Seriously, this is not explained.
Joe doesn't get opportunities like these other wrestling guys do that review wrestling. And, like, who's going to bring him on to their program? And listen, let me tell you, if Joe didn't have the past that he has, right? I would love, like, if I had a big channel on YouTube, I would love to bring a guy on like Joe, around 70 to 100,000 subs, help him out and have him introduce me to his people. But nobody does that with Joe anymore because are deathly afraid because the minute they go online and they Google the guy, he says comes up.
Bro, this is
Okay, well, Ken makes a point. So, like, and Luke Rojas is about to say this, but Ken makes a point that some people are not going to want to deal with Joe based on how over the top Joe can be and what he says. Now, he never. Now, Luke Rojas is about to say, "Well, you said over the top things too." Well, first and foremost, you have to analyze intent. Okay, you have to look at intent. This is the thing. Okay, when Joe does something, say something over the top, one, it's just kind of over the top for the sake of being over the top. He's just trying to be edgy, right? Ken does it. His intent is trying to make a joke, right? You're gonna be like, oh, but Joe's trying to make a joke too. Well, Ken's lands. Joe goes like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself, and there's a joke. I don't see what's the punchline there. Him ending his life. I don't know.
such little baby behavior. I like Ken. I've always liked Ken. I've never had a problem with Ken, but it's like such baby behavior to be like, and he says mean things.
So basically, I like Ken, but until he makes fun of my Lord and Savior Joe Cronin, hey Joe, don't make fun of Ken. Don't make fun of Joe.
He says gross things. Like, you haven't. You used to say this.
There's the two coquet fallacy. Okay, for one, Ken isn't denying he hasn't been over the top. Okay. Again, like I pointed out, intent matters, people.
Same shit. You used to go after Tommy about his dead fucking barber. You used to say all this vile shit, but now you're so
Like what? Like what? Going after his dead barber. Like, what did Ken say, for example?
concerned about what Joe's doing so that you can prop yourself up and grandstand him. It's babyish behavior from people that are never going to get anywhere, have never really gotten any.
Ken has gotten somewhere. Like, he has a studio now. In fact, he used to be a bouncer. Ken's 46 years old. He has a family. Of course he's gotten somewhere. Devious Dave Rose, he's been a teacher before. He's been all this. Now he does YouTube streams. Been part of Joe's shows now. Of course they've gotten somewhere. But of course you're gonna only look at YouTube and say, well, they got nowhere. Well, you're looking on the inside of YouTube. You live on the internet, buddy. Look on the outside. These people have a life outside of YouTube. Of course they're successful.
Where on their YouTube channels, so they want to point out the guy who's failing and the guy who's fallen off, who actually did have something. And yes, I'm not saying that Joe is getting millions of people watching him.
Yeah, you live on the internet, buddy.
Joe actually did have something successful, and these people are so desperate to have something successful for themselves, and they never got that. So,
But I already pointed out they do, so you're kind of projecting there, my guy. Oh, you never had something successful. What? Okay, what do you have? You look like a fat Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
they have to point out Joe's failures to make themselves feel better. I don't know. Why are you listening to him?
Him pointing out something Joe said does not mean he listened to him. Oh, but how do you know he said that? Clearly, he heard a clip. Somebody sent him a clip. Believe it or not, yes, people like us get sent clips. But wow, like, I don't know.
The other night he said this. Why are you still listening to him? I'm done with Cronin. I'm done with Joe.
Well, like, again, they are done. Like, again, I don't understand this.
With him, you're still listening to everything he says.
Now, again, send clips, okay? Just people get sent clips, guy. Just saying.
It. And so you could be like, why would he say this? I mean, I've said something exactly the same, but
when has Ken ever said he would do a 5-year-old like Joe did? He did not say exactly the same thing. Like, unless you have evidence to that.
You say this, it's almost like he's joking.
Oh wow, well, banging a 5-year-old's a joke now. Oh.
Bro, come on, like, are you serious? And again, the come on, like he's your dad, like, dude.
Yeah, he also talks about like people like this have babyish behavior, but isn't this kind of sort of like the same thing for him? Like the babyish behavior, complaining about people like literally talking about Joe Cronin. How dare you? Like in Devious Dave Rose's stream, he reviewed, or at least Tony reviewed, where he made it by his show, where Tony reviewed like basically people kind of doing somewhat of the same things, bringing up problems. And in fact, apparently you went in and started the drama yourself and was a complete baby. And it turns out in your comment sections, you complained about and previously complained about not being paid to be on the shows. But yeah, you're going to call everybody else the baby, but what does that make you then? What does that make you, really? If Ken's the baby, what are you?
Shut up. You don't like the guy's channel, don't watch it.
When did he, again, pointed out, he doesn't watch.
Instead of endlessly spectating, he could have done this, and he could have done that, and he could have done that.
Well, again, pointing out something he could do better is apparently a problem. What, like criticism isn't good anymore?
Like, get over it.
And that's why.
Is my shit going through?
Get over it.
Ah, it's going through. Nice. Anyway, moving on. Oh shit. Wrong video. Oh come on. How did I lose it already? There it is.
Like, get over it.
That's
why he never got anything or this or that, because when people
I don't. Like I said, I don't completely disagree with Luke Rojas, but I'm gonna say this: he comes off as completely babyish while calling other people babies. Yeah, yeah. He's known for complaining about the most things. Like he'll bitch about this person, bitch about that person, go to Joe's defense. It's like, dude, like your idolization of Joe Cronin is weird. You're bitching about people going after Joe Cronin is weird. He went after YR for going after Joe Cronin. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong on some of those things, but but the way he sounds is just complete baby. And I want it my way. You're entitled, buddy. It works that way. What he will say about Tony is like he's trying to insert himself. Well, like yes and no, but Tony has had some history with Joe too. I'll put it that way. Yes, Tony is a doxer and stuff. Yes, he's done that before. Yes, yes, this is all true. But and yes, it might seem like a double standard because Tony docs Joe and Ken is now on a stream with Tony. Well, let me put it this way. Let me just put it this way. A while back, they have obviously discussed and got over it, right? Ken is obviously over his family being doxxed by Tony. Tony clearly regrets it, I guess, if we're going that route, right? I don't know if he actually does. He probably just apologized. It was like, yeah, maybe I could be forgiven or something. Please forgive me again. Maybe let me go do it again. I don't know. Who knows what happens with that? But I'm saying this, or it's just because we're hanging out with Tony and Tony being on does not mean we condone what he does. At least what Ken and Dave hanging out with Tony. I probably will never hang out with Tony. That's them. I don't blame you for criticizing them for hanging out with somebody like that. I mean, yes, that's Tony. Everybody knows his past. But at the same time, it's just like you're pointing out somebody like Tony. Yet, the thing you did now, well, hasn't Joe streamed with Tony as well? Hasn't Joe done streams with Tony knowing he's doxed people as well? Like, you're well aware of this, Luke, Ohaz. You know these things. So why is this like an issue now? Nah, whatever. Oof. Looks like we went for 2 hours. Oh, that was fun reminiscing. We're gonna hang out for a bit more. Oh boy, it was a fun stream. 3 hours, maybe I can go. Maybe more. I don't know. I think people died and just went to sleep. It is 7:30 in MT time, so if a lot of people use Eastern time in the place I'm around, so basically maybe it's 9:30 and they're like, I gotta sleep because I got work tomorrow. Don't blame you. Yeah. But I did review a fair amount out of Luke Rojas. So basically, I'll go for a bit more and talk about a bit more and chat with the chat. Even though my chat's dead, but you get the point. More and shit. Nah. Dave says exactly. How dare you point out what is true? Yeah, that's basically Luke Rojas' logic. Vikings for showed up. Casey as Raw showed up. Tiff showed up. We went about like good time. Well, I don't want this to be dead air, so maybe I should play one of my songs. I'm gonna play one of my songs, one of my epic songs. I'll play Joe Cronin. Hold on, let me find a video. I'm gonna find a video. Give me a sec. There it is. I am gonna upload it. I'm uploading it, guys. Don't worry. I'm uploading it. God damn it. Stop mocking me right now, or else I'm gonna kick your ass. Or else I'm gonna kick your ass. Oh, oh. That's where I am, buddy. That's where I am, buddy. Yes, I'm doing this kind of impression. Hello, everybody. It's bullzie. And I'm here to do this reminiscing, buddy. I'm here to reminisce, buddy. You better watch out, or else I'm gonna call you out. I tell you, man, in both these chats right now, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of my chat right now. No, Scott. They will not get out of that chat. Fuck you. Demand you get out. No, they will not get out. There it is.
I hate my children's shit from the toilet.
I'm hungry for some shit. I'd suck a giant dick. I'm gonna flop a flip. Eat begging for shit is my shtick. I'm full of shit cause I'm Joe Cronin. I need more shit to meet a deadline. I can't make ends meet cause of my fucked up bloodline. I beg for shit every dang time, and I'm about to lose my mind. I can't stand being beaten by my wife.
You wanna know who my biggest shit donor is? It's a dude who's best friends with a pedo, the frick. He collected all the money when the pedo died. He's fucking sick. YR donate so he can suck Joe's dick.
Good job, Joe, you got the shitter to give you shit. I needs my crap. Please empty your stomachs. I needs it fast. I'm hungry for some shit. I'd suck a giant dick. I'm gonna flop a flip. It begging for shit is my shtick. I'm full of shit cause I'm Joe Cronin. I have a big nose, I can smell the crap. I'd go on a quest but I have no map. I don't wanna work, I'm a lazy sap. I'd rather lie around like a cat. Just dump shit on me until it hits my lap.
Every time I receive a shit nation, I act high, but no one shit nates anymore. I will cry if they don't keep shit nating. I'll punch my mom's eye. Wait, I have an idea. They will shit nate if I say he'll die.
I will receive more shit if I threaten to end my life. Let me have it all. I like smelling it in the bathroom stall.
I'm a degenerate, call me who will fall.
I'm hungry for some shit. I'd suck a giant dick. I'm gonna flop a flip. Eat begging for shit is my shtick. I'm full of shit cause I'm Joe Cronin. I'm hungry for some shit. I'd suck a giant dick. I'm gonna flop a flip. If begging for shit is my shtick. I'm full of shit cause I'm Joe Cronin. gonna flop a flip. If begging for shit is my shtick, I'm full of shit, cause I'm Joe Cronin.
That was some real good shit I ate. Yummy, yummy.
Give it up for Joe Cronin for being a shit eater. Yeah. You get some shit nations. Oh shit. Hold on. I was trying to upload something again. Apparently I couldn't upload it. That's fine. Just delete it again. Oh well. I'm gonna try to upload it again. I'm gonna get you in there, buddy. Don't you worry. Done.
We thought that baggie belonged to Hunter. You know, I think the Secret Service, that was yours. We thought that baggie belonged to Hunter. You know, I think the Secret Service probably still has it somewhere.
I have been stealing the money.
I'm sorry, what's that now?
Yeah, well, that worked out just fine. Alright, so I'm gonna try something else then. I already played the Joe song. The Joe song was good. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Have some stuff saved, apparently. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Oh, there's one. Let me play this one. Surprisingly, that it just didn't play. Who knows? I already played the Joe Shitnator. I'm gonna play "Proud to Be" by yours truly, CM Punk. I'm gonna play that song. Like, let's let it load. We're gonna get it up there. Gonna get up there. Oh, by the way, we should probably talk about some YR stuff. Yuck faced rat over there. Everybody loves the yuck faced rat. The yuck face laugh. Hey guys, you know what I'm saying? I like Joe now, even though I used to bash the shit out of him, but now I love him, you know what I'm saying? I want to be lying. I don't want to do anything to do with drama, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't bash me, Kian, please. Save me, Kian. Joe now's my best friend. Come on, load, damn it. I'm telling you to load. Anyway, if after this loads, I'll say something about why. Remember the time when Wire used to go after Joe, make Drama Club 2020, where he'd get people on to criticize Joe? He would do some bits with his wieners he had in his closet. Yes, I know all this. I wasn't even there yet. I remembered some of those explanations. Well, actually, Vikings has some up still, so he don't delete his shit. You are a real one, Vikings. We don't give you enough credit. Oh, come on. I'm trying to. Come on. Get it. Oh, come on. It's already got to do that to me. I will eat you. Come on. Let me try something. Let me turn it. Wow, it's not even going to do this thing for me. Hold on. I'm going to do something real quick. Damn it. It's doing this thing where I'm trying to do something. Hey, I already said that, but okay, fine. So it scrolls. So why isn't this scrolling? Oh, wow. He's going to do this to me. That, I don't know why I thought that would change. Hold on. I'm going to fucking cheat. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat and enter in with a different device. It's going to be a different device, buddy. I'm going to do it with a different device. That's just the deal. Come on. Okay, I did put it in the chat. Good. But it was not gonna fucking, like, it's one of those things where I'm like trying to get into the chat, trying to do something, and apparently, like, my stream guards like won't take me to it now. Like, it's almost like it's trying to fuck with me. Not today. Not today. Anyway, remember YR? Remember when he would bash Joe? Create DramaCon 2020? Remember that one? I maybe. YR the fake Christian. Oh, I think I have that song. Alright, never mind. Won't let me scroll up still. Of all things. Okay. This is what I'm doing. Oh, wow. Okay. What the fuck? Okay. I'm gonna enter out of this, and I'm sure it's still going. So like I'm gonna go to. No, Ken's going left. Thanks, Ken. Anyway, thanks, Ken. Anyway, I'm going to my stream. There we go. Okay, everything's working out just fine. So, knowing this is working just fine, so I'm gonna go back to StreamYard. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to StreamYards and put myself on. Going it. Okay. There we go. Now we're good. Now we're good. I think we're good now. Now check. Okay, everything's apparently just. Oh. Wow, it just did it again. Oh. It's gonna be the one of like. Are you seriously doing this to me right now? I wish I could explain what's happening. But apparently, like, the controls is just not going in my way. Fuck you. You gonna fucking do this to me of all times, really? No, I don't want that. I hate you, man. I really do. No, I don't want to do that. Why is Did doing this? Why are you doing this? Come on. StreamYards, you suck. I gotta do it again now. I gotta change everything again. Alrighty then, I guess we're doing this. Alright. Yeah, so now we're good. So we're gonna do this one more time because it's just not working out the way I want to, honestly. It really is not. the good news is the stream will continue regardless, as long as I don't press end. Funny enough, this stream could go on forever. Okay. So like now we're gonna do this. So you're going. There's two me's on. Yeah, so and it's gonna do the echo to my part at least. So now everything's going good. We're gonna play
I'm
this.
CM Punk here to show my love for the country that my fan base hates with a passion. I'm proud to be an American, even though I'll never be a man. I'm more useless than an empty can. Most children say to me, yes ma'am. I'm a whiny crybaby that's American. I'm gonna virtue signal I love Mexicans. I have little star power, my only brand is crying like a child when I grandstand. I'm the perfect representation of America is today. It's being an unhealthy and unhappy. Every day I cry if things don't go my way. I'm an American who's ashamed. I'm fragile, I have no one to blame. America made me and drug addicts look the same. When I fought in the UFC, I lost my faith. I'm proud to be an American. I got a rush of adrenaline. I'm gonna fight Russians in Ukraine, 'cause I'm a bitch with no brain. I'm a whiny crybaby that's American. I'm full of this thing called estrogen. The doctor said I had a fragile skeleton and proceeded to call me a feminine man. I don't know what being American is. I never study history. I'm a straight edge meth head in misery. I never had a real victory. I'm an American who's ashamed. I'm fragile, I have no one to blame. America made me and drug addicts look the same. When I fought in the UFC, I lost my faith. I'm fragile, I have no one to blame. America made me and drug addicts look the same. When I fought in the UFC, I lost my faith. I'm CM Punk.
No, right, never mind. How is it being heard? Never mind. I'm an idiot. Ah, yes, I played the song. Perfect. Perfect song, buddy. Just waiting for the other one to load. Come on, you can do it. Load. God damn it. I will pile drive you off a balcony onto concrete if you don't load. Reminiscing. This is also reminiscing on the past songs I made. It's come on. Load it. You can do it. Strangely. Yeah, there it is. Let's play it.
What do you see? A cult of sensitivity. I'm very angry cause I'm the fragility. I keep falling into pieces. Whoa! I'm the cult of sensitivity. Have some sympathy cause I'm a crybaby. I'm on my knees to suck your D. I'm a tattooed pussy. I'm a freaking sissy. I'm so flimsy. I break too easily. I have been bitchified. Cause I'm the cult of sensitivity. 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 I'm the cult of sensitivity.
One of the best songs I ever made. One of the best songs. Now we're just gonna let the other one load. The other one would load in due time. What else is there to say? We went 3 hours, buddy. Cool. It's not a surprise Ken was singing. I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna go live with this bitch, yeah. I'm like, oh man, Ken. You messed me up, Ken. How dare you do this to me, Ken? That's fine though. My shit don't get out too much anyway. But here's another song. This is about Seth and his group.
He dresses in a woman's suit. It looks provocative, it's very lewd. I want to punch myself in the face for liking this dude. Triple H gave a stable to this tranny, wearing a shiny dress like a pansy. Put a Jewish with him thinking he's fancy. He wants to be a woman, he wants to be badly. Braun and Bronson are a part of his group. He wants big men to grope his boobs. But you're not a woman, Seth, you're a dude. Put your pants on, no one wants to see you nude. Hey Seth, I don't mean to pry. Be honest with me and don't you dare lie. You obviously wanna get gangbanged by big old guys. choice but to comply. Seth is gliding into his pride, like a skater on the ice. Wants to be accepted, look into those eyes. If you don't, he will kill himself while he cries. The big boy stuck in his feminine arms. Seth Rollins is gay to them, he tries to charm. They are hurt mentally, Seth's causing them harm. The big boys had enough, they're buying a firearm. He thinks his flirt is a hit with their muscle kit, but Braun and Braun don't like him, not one bit. They'd rather punch him in the armpit. Seth is feminine, he thinks he's fine. His vibe is a feminine tribe. He wants big guys to blow out his spine. The big guys have no choice but to comply. Seth is feminine, he thinks he's fine. His vibe is a feminine tribe. He wants big guys to blow out his spine. The big guys have no choice but to comply.
It's burning up! It's burning up! Walking in through the heat, the ground burns my feet. The temperature is rising here, I can't see, my vision isn't clear. I can't survive the sun's blaze, I can feel its gaze. I can feel the sun's rays, they are hitting my face. I'm feeling the glow, I can't see my way home. I'm lost in the glow, I have no way back home. It's burning up, I can't keep it up. I'm risking my life, I'm water deprived. This was never contrived and now I'm getting boiled alive. I can't survive the sun's blaze, I can feel its gaze. I can feel the sun's rays, they are hitting my face. I'm feeling the glow, I can't see my way home. I'm lost in the glow, I have no way back home. It's burning up, I can't keep it up.
Yeah, that was a good song. Should I fucking like? I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about anyway. Just played a little bit of songs. Yeah, I think we can end it here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hello, everybody. Or goodbye, everybody. Bullzie's out. Peace. Thanks for tuning in, anyway. Bye.